What's up, y'all? Hope y'all having an amazing Monday. Hope everything y'all set out to do, y'all getting accomplished. Shout out to everybody joining the live. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure we get everybody up in here. What up, what up, what up? Got Instagram up in here, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Man, we got everybody up in here today. We're going in. What's up, family? Again, I hope y'all having an amazing Monday. What's up, family? If this your first time on my live, put a one in the chat. If you've been on my live more than once, put a two in the chat. Let's see who all we got up in here. Yes, sir. I was on this morning on the network. We had a light crowd on it this morning. I was on there probably for about 30 minutes. Same with you, family. Um, we're gonna try to pop back on there again tomorrow. Is well, not tomorrow, Wednesday as well. We may get one in tomorrow too. Just depends on the situation. But you know how they go. Yeah, over there at Zabo103TV. Absolutely, family. For all the people that have been here with me for a while, we've been rocking on the live for 145 weeks straight. Shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me for a minute. All the new people to the live, this your first time on my live, welcome. If you don't know who I am, I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms and I literally just try to provoke thought. I believe that if you think, if you research, and you take action, you absolutely, without a doubt, can win. Nothing really stops it. It's been pretty interesting, this 145 weeks of lives that we've been on, y'all. We done had so many different experiences together. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I think about from where I started going live to today, um, from being that person that was down, I'm not getting on no live, man. I ain't doing that. Getting on there talking to no camera, man. I ain't doing that. That used to be me to now being comfortable just, going live whenever. It don't even freaking matter. Um, the other thing is just seeing all of y'all that's been rocking for a minute, right? And looking at some of y'all journeys, people done all type of things. People that became landowners, people that went back to school if that's what they wanted to do, people that started their businesses. So many people like, hey man, I never had a life insurance policy, man. I went and got me one. So it's been pretty eye-opening just seeing the amount of people that are taking heed to this presentation. Let me call it that way, I guess. Um, and I'm grateful and I'm blessed for it, right? Um, and before we get into it, let me start off by saying this, right? Because I do have to say this. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a wealth manager. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm none of those things. I'm a dude on the internet that figures some stuff out. And that's the part that becomes very scary about this stuff, y'all. Um, I remember, all those years at Bank of America. And every time I think about those days, it's really one of the reasons that pushed me to keep getting on these lives, to keep talking about just different things. And the reason for that is simply because when I was at the bank trying to figure all this stuff out, man, nobody seemed like they knew anything. And the people that did seem like they knew anything, it came with some expensive price tag to try to get the information, just to realize they didn't know the information either. Um, I found out that the people on social media just run a lot of gimmicks. All of it's an illusion. None of it's real. And I said to myself, when I finally figured it out and I finally started connecting the dots, I said to myself, no matter how well I do with this thing we call building wealth, um, I'm always gonna come online and just share some information because again, it might be that one piece of information that I decide to share that you might be missing, or it might be something that you already know that just needed to be reinforced. Um, it is pretty interesting just to see how creative people are when it comes to all of these different things that we throw out there. So for my new people on here, because I know people are like, well, what do you do, man? Like, okay, you're talking, but what do you do? Um, I do so much stuff; it's almost scary, and that's kind of an understatement. And these last few weeks, I've really been on the run, like going ham every single day, because it seemed like the right thing to do. I got to get me a little bit more rest. I'm starting to get some bags up under my eyes. I'm gonna put me some cucumbers up under my eyes or something. But just to give the newbies some background, because people are always looking for credentials. I ain't got no credentials. It just is what it is, right? I did work at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree. Made a couple hundred grand a year. I left Bank of America when I made my yearly salary in a month. I don't know if that means much, but that's what happened, right? I also own a toilet paper company called Triumph Tissue, 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets. That's the closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk, but I ain't know he'll sell it to y'all. I made a decision to start selling it to the government. They pay better. When I left Bank of America, I had the bright idea to I wanted to build my own subdivision. And I went to the bank, um, to partner with the bank basically. I had pretty, pretty solid business credit, really, really good personal credit, had some capital. And when I walked inside the bank doors, to tell them that, hey, look, I purchased 55 acres of land cash. I want to build out 52 homes. And they um they told me that I didn't have enough experience. So they come partner with me. I had the credit, I had the money, I had all these different things, but they didn't want to partner with me. So I got them a feelings just like I normally would, emotional, the whole 9 yards. And what's up? And I started building out my own subdivision. I built 29 homes out my pocket cash. And then I got an offer for the remaining of the land and property number 29, which y'all been seeing a lot of lately because I'm going through those, looking at my mistakes. Um, and I had to make this happen by myself. I learned a lot. It was a very, very expensive experience. It was a lot to do. Um, what else? We planted 100 acres of pecan trees back in September of 2023. We not selling pecan pies. I got land with this on it. I got land with cell phone towers on it. We can keep going. As much as I was getting on lives every single day, like clockwork, just pouring out free information to people and pouring and pouring and pouring, I guess there was some people that didn't like it, so I kept getting silence. So I would go live and share up a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh man, that was powerful. And in the midst of me going in and just giving out information, my live just shut down. What the heck happened? Just shut completely down. But I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset at all. I didn't come back on TikTok or Instagram or no other platform and complain about it. I created my own. Zabo103TV.com. I created my own platform like a Netflix where you can watch shows over there that I create and I go live over there too. These last couple weeks, I've been doing more lives over there on the network. I'm gonna do another live probably tomorrow, around 6:30 tomorrow afternoon, and then I'm gonna do another one on Wednesday, then another one on Thursday. I've been going live, starting to go live a lot more on the network versus just social media, just because I know those people that have subscribed to the network, um, they've made a decision to invest in themselves and get the ball rolling. So that's why I've been putting my time in. Which leads me to social media right now. So now that my new people have gotten a little bit of about me, let's dive into some stuff. As I get ready to tackle the month of June, and you all should probably looking at some of these same things too. We're about to get on to the second half of 2025 that's flying so fast. I don't even know where to begin and where to stop. Right, this is like it's not like every year just lately just been speeding. But 2025 has been a real bumpy road for a lot of people. And I get so many freaking DMs from folks trying to figure out how they can do this and how they can do that. So many people are ready to invest whatever money they got to invest in order for them to try to start winning somehow. And I want to be clear when I say this because I do get a lot of DMs with this. I only have one page on each platform. I'm never going to DM you first, ever. It's just not going to happen. If we're being completely honest, there are a bunch of people that have made fake accounts of me, and some people have gotten finessed out of their money by these folks. So I'm going to tell everybody that's on the live once again, stop falling for the nonsense. For those people that are new, right? And those to my live and don't know, just letting you know, FYI. For those people that's been on my live more than once, you should know better. Like, you got to understand at some point, you can't keep putting yourself in a position to be a victim. That's not how life works. And unfortunately, with some of these platforms that don't really, there's not a lot of controls and checks and balances in place that prevents these things from happening. Um, it just is what it is. So I would just advise you strongly, and it's just me. It's just me. I want to be. I want to be as direct as possible in this situation. If somebody is acting like they're me, the way you're gonna know it, the way you are going to know it, they're gonna slide in your DM. Period, and ask you for bread. They might not ask you out the gate, but they're gonna ask you. I don't have that much time in my life to slide through everybody followers that I have or create a whole bunch of other accounts trying to finesse you out a couple $100. It's scary. Oh, that's the part that's even funny. You're right about that, fam. So, the fake pages hit people up all the time, but they'll send me a DM directly when they say, "Hey, is this you? Do you have a different account?" No, I don't. It's actually on all of my profile that this is my only account. I don't know what else to do about it, y'all. Not at this point. I could go through and strike accounts, but that's too time consuming, and I'm definitely not gonna pay somebody on my team to go do it because that doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna pay a company um, to do it either. It doesn't make sense. So, with that being said, let me say this: as a person that lost $90,000 to a coach when I started conducting business about 9 years ago, let me make myself very clear. If you openly give somebody your hard earned money, you didn't get finessed. You gave it to them. I want that to be very, very, very clear. And I'm gonna tell you flat out, just from me, again, as a person that lost $90,000 to a coach when I started conducting business about 9 years ago, I don't blame that coach. I blame me because I didn't do my due diligence. And you're gonna hear me say a lot throughout this live. Research before me search. Do your due diligence. I cannot stress that to you enough. Everything that I do to generate money, I never need anybody on the live to do it. And that's intentional. And I learned that when I started the toilet paper company because all my friends and family that were supposed to support me when I started my toilet paper company in the United States of America, where people ain't got bidets, they buying toilet paper every single month. There was so many of my family and friends that didn't support me, even though they were going to the grocery store buying stuff. It let me know at that point to never rely on the average consumer to assist you with getting anything, because consumers aren't really going to assist you until you show them you don't need them. And that's a scary thought. And it's all because people want to feel a part of something. It's almost scary when I think about it. And I get kind of like taken back a little bit sometimes when I think about just how many people are like that. A stranger will help you out before your own family and friends. That's one of the main reasons why at the beginning of my journey, I went so hard with I need to be buying land all the time. I went so hard with I need to be making money all these different ways off of land. I went so hard with I got to get the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford. I went so hard with doing things that people had to have. They ain't have no choice. It will sell itself regardless of the situation. That's why I went so hard in those areas so that when I do decide to go on live and share some information, when I do something like build my own network and say you can sign up for it or you don't, doesn't matter to me because that's not how I make my money. I position it that way because I understood when you need it, people ain't gonna support you. It's almost like the banks. The same thing that people hate the most about banks, right? The bank don't loan you money if you need the money. The bank only loans you money if you don't need it. That's really the truth if we're going to put it into perspective. But nobody's ready to really have that conversation at all. And you'll have these same individuals that believe that they're in the safest place possible. I'm stable, I'm comfortable. You're 30 days away from being homeless yourself. I'm going to say that one more time. You're 30 days away from being homeless in most cases. Nope, I got money from a rainy day. The rainy day is just bill money. If you lose your job today and you have no way to get another job ever again in life, and you had to go figure something else out, you sure would go figure something else out. But you realistically got 30 days before that panic sink in, because realistically, you're on the verge of being homeless. Well, I got a home. It's gonna take more than 30 days for them to for them to foreclose. I get it, but you ain't never gonna be able to catch up. There are so many people right now that are struggling. And this is an unprecedented time. If we're being honest, right? There are so many people right now that are making 100 grand a year and struggling. I've never, and maybe I just ain't paid attention to other people' money like that because it doesn't really matter to me. But I've never ran into so many people that tell me they struggling and they make 100 grand a year. It's the weirdest thing in the world to me. I don't get it. And when I look at it in hindsight, I understand that people overextend themselves no matter how much money they make. You got people making 7 figures a year saying it ain't enough. You making $1 million a year and you think it ain't enough? You making 100 grand a year and ain't enough? Your lifestyle, if you look at your lifestyle, what you got going on, you telling me your lifestyle is more than 100 grand. This is some wild stuff. People losing their cars, their homes, their lights getting turned out. They can't buy groceries. Grocery prices through the roof. You got people walking around here with $400-500 pair of shoes and complaining about egg prices being $12. The math just don't math to me, y'all. And it's all because people want to look the part. It's almost scary when I start to really just sit back and think about this. And I do a lot of brainstorming and a lot of thinking because I be trying to figure out how I can get other people to get this thing to click. That's what it's ultimately about. It's not about, you know, man, I got this much money this year. So what you do with it? I see you fresh. You got a nice whip. You got a nice crib. I see your furniture over there. You got a nice little sofa set. Think. This is like this is like so wild to me. And I know that it becomes pretty scary when you start to talk about money. It becomes pretty unnerving, especially when you're talking about doing something with your money that you didn't have no intentions on doing with it. And it's wild to me, right? What's up, family? It's wild to me when I think about how many people claim they invest their money. I like what you said. They invest their money, right? But then you ask them what they invest their money in, they'll say some nonsense like Bitcoin. And then when you ask them how many Bitcoins do you own, actually hold Bitcoins. Oh no, that's where I'm gonna put my money once I get it. I'm investing my money in this. I'm investing my money in some box trucks. I'm investing my money in whatever it is. It's the wildest thing in the world to me. And when I ask the one simple question that the answer should always be yes to, do you have a whole life insurance policy? You know, some that has a living benefit and a death benefit. People will out their mouth say insurance is a scam. I would never do that. That's a scam. It's the wildest thing in the world to me. But I remember when I was growing up, they said when we get older, because where we're going in the future, What you thought was good will become bad, and what you thought was bad will become good. Everything is going to be opposite. And we're here. It's the wildest concept in the world to me. And I don't understand why people, they know better, why they just won't do better. I have people hit me up all the time talking about, man, I wish I knew about this years ago, man. I would have been on it back then. Okay, you didn't know about it years ago. I get it. You wish you did know it. But now you know. Now what? What are you going to do with the information that you have today? Because most people are sitting on piles and piles and piles of information that they're not doing nothing with. Ain't nobody gatekeeping, y'all. It's a myth. There's nobody gatekeeping these days anymore. Information is so relatively just free to give to so many different people. The problem is, ain't nobody doing that with the information. And that's the part that becomes very scary to me. Because it's like, man, I gotta keep instilling this in my babies. Letting them know, keep it so they see it every day. They doing it every single day to where it just become a natural thing for them to do. They don't know anything different to do. The problem is the only thing that's been instilled to majority of the people in the United States of America is to be a consumer at every level. And this is the reason why you got people running around making 100 grand a year talking about they living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine $8,300 every single month. I'm just, y'all can round up or down, whatever, right? $8,300 a month that you getting before tax. After tax is probably somewhere around 6 grand. Imagine you getting $6,000 a month and you can't figure out how not to live paycheck to paycheck. Something's off. And I don't think I need to tell you that. I don't think I gotta be the one to to really say it. You know something's off. Imagine, just for a second, if you went and got an apartment, you gotta make 3 times the rent, right? So if the apartment is $1,000 a month, you gotta make 3 grand a month, right? That's 12,000 a year for the rent. That means you make 36,000 a year. Just throwing low numbers out, right? Softball, right? If you went and got a mortgage, your debt to income ratio can't be above 35%. At least that's how it was back in my day, right? Can't be above 35%. If we be in perspective, that's a third of your income. Your mortgage or your rent is the biggest expense that you have. I'm going to say that one more time. Your mortgage or your rent is the biggest expense that you have. So you're telling me you got a mortgage or rent, which is the biggest expense you have, which is a third of your income. What the hell happened to the other 67%? What did you do with it? Your utility bills ain't 67% unless you created it. If you got light, gas, water, sewer, grocery, cell phone, car note, it still ain't 67% of your money. Where did all this other money go? You created unnecessary bills and then started saying you needed this stuff. So now every time you look at, man, I got to cut back stuff, you cut back things in your head that you believe that you need. Imagine you got a drinking problem. but you got to have you a drink every single day. Every week you're going to spend $50 on something to drink. That's $200 a month, $2,400 a year. Imagine, ladies, don't hurt me when I say this, but I don't want to tell y'all what to do. But imagine you're going to get your nails and your toes done every week. I need to be pampered every week. I get it. I understand it. Don't make it right because I understand it. See, nobody's willing to take that step back and make the necessary sacrifices to get to wherever they need to get to. And when they start that journey, whew, if they let somebody know they started the journey, they can't pivot. It don't matter if they about to run off a cliff, they got to run off the cliff because they can't pivot from what they're doing because the world already know they're doing something else. They're going to be too embarrassed to pivot. It's like you're setting yourself up for failure. And I know what it is. It's been drilled in your head to be a consumer. And more scary than that, it's been drilled in your head that you got to be number one. Every time something transpire and somebody's talking about whatever, are you the best are you the best of the best? Are you number one? Who's number one in your field? If it's not you, I don't know what you're gonna do. Who is it? That's been in your head. This mysterious thing called competition. So every time you start talking about what you're gonna do, you're gonna have 100 million people trying to tear you down, especially if they're doing the same thing, because they automatically go into competition mode. You sound like a fool. If you today, if everybody on all these lives that we on receive $5 million a piece, no one in the world would know unless you told them. If everybody on this live, we have about 300 people between all these 400 people now between all these lives that I'm on. If everybody on this live got $1 billion, nobody would know unless you told them. There's no shortage, y'all. This mysterious thing, like everybody can't do this. You need to go ahead and say the right things. Everybody won't do it. Not that they can't. You got people in your bloodline, in your family, your immediate family, in the house that you live in, that you won't even partner up with and conduct business with them. You can't do business with family, but you'll go do business with strangers that's gonna do everything in their power to make sure they win and you lose. It's some wild moments, man, in 2025. And I'm telling you, just I don't know if y'all seeing the writing on the wall. I want to make myself clear when I say this. If you don't understand what's brewing right now, which places or countries are at odds, what's going to happen when it boils over, you don't see what's happening with the housing market from a perspective of we're going to have X amount of people in a position where they're going to have a home and I got to go buy this home. I can't afford no home at 6% interest rate. You're going to have sellers that's going to want to sell their homes that are going to have to take a cut because people ain't gonna be able to afford the price of the house at $480,000. The average price of a home today in America, they taking $80,000, $90,000 cuts because people can't afford that $480,000 at a 6% interest rate. If we being honest, you get it. So I'm saying at some point you gotta wake up, and you saying you woke, but you still sleep. You need to start making adjustments now, creating whatever lifestyle you believe that you deserve so that you can prepare for the long haul. Because the reality of it is, as you have seen throughout your lifetime, prices on everything always go up. As long as I've been on this planet for the last, what, 48 years, I'm here to tell you, boys and girls, I haven't seen something go down. Everything I've been seeing is going up when it comes to the cost of living. Those same homes that's $438,000, they were $130,000 back in the day, and probably cheaper than that. So you got to take the time to start paying attention to these things. Your jobs, I've said this 100 million times. Shout out if you have a good job. Take advantage of whatever you can take advantage of. But don't forget that you need to be working for your last name, because I can assure you, the way AI is operating, the way robots are operating today, in about 10 years, it ain't going to be no more jobs like that, y'all. It's over with for getting a job and going into a career and having this career until I retire. That's over. Most people don't make it that long anyway before they get fired. Not anymore. You got to start putting yourself in a position to become as close to self sufficient as possible. And if you don't understand that, then that's a whole nother animal. So, what does that mean? It means, how can I generate the most money I possibly can generate on my own while lowering all the expenses that I have, or all the bills that I have, as close to or zero as humanly possible? If you can't wrap your brain around that, that's going to be a whole nother animal. It was wild to me the day when we got to a place where we didn't have no bills. I went from struggling to pay $2,000 a month in bills to paying $40,000 a month in bills to not having bills at all. I'm telling you flat out, the more money you make, the more bills you're going to have to eliminate. Because when we get to a place where things becomes a little bit more tighter to do things, unless you got the resources to do it, you're not gonna want to be that person that got mad bills and you can't afford it. That's just what it's gonna be. So I'm saying to you that today is the day to start taking the steps in those directions. What does that look like today? You've been trying to start a business now for 7 years. When you gonna do it? How you walking around here as a grown man and a grown woman, and you don't have life insurance policies on yourself and the people that you say you care about and love the most? The math don't math. What's up, family? The math don't math. It doesn't make sense. I can't even, I wish I could, I wish I could say that a little differently, but just know everybody on this planet is going to graduate from this planet. there is a 100% chance you're going to graduate from this planet. So your life insurance, unlike your car insurance, that just in case something happens, it's not if you're going to graduate, it's when it's going to happen. It just is what it is. So why not take advantage of all the living benefits that it has? And then when you graduate, your loved ones that you leaving behind ain't got to do no fish fry. They ain't got to do a GoFundMe. They ain't got to sell t-shirts. Like at some point, something has to shift. The other thing I would say is this: you got to stop. I don't want to say this way, so let me say it a different way. You need to take the time to start learning about money. It shouldn't be a uncomfortable situation, shouldn't be a boring situation. It should make you angry. It should make you feel no type of way at all. You gotta start learning how money works. And money is strictly based off of your energy. Now, there's things you gotta do with your energy to make that thing happen. And there's things you gotta do with once you get the money to make those things happen. But the thing that you need to understand the most is money is not yours. The money that you got in your bank account is not your money. You've been fooled. It's never your money. You only holding that money to give it to the next person. I don't care how long you hold it. You only holding it to give it to someone else. And all money goes back to the original sender. And none of us are the original senders. Um, it's kind of hard for me to create a platform in another place or another country when I'm not there because there's rules and laws and things over there that I'm just not aware of. But you can always, I'm sure, whatever country you're in, invest. Get with a real estate agent that specializes in land, and you can always buy land in your country wherever you're at. That's in America or anywhere, but you can buy land anywhere. But you just gotta know your laws. But these are things that you want to make sure you take a proactive approach in. I know people always say when I talk money, numbers, whatever it is, well, you're gonna be good at it. You worked at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive. You know how many people that worked at the bank that wasn't good at numbers? It's called systems that they had in place. If this happened, you click on this button. If that happened, you click on that button. If that happened, you click on this button, and it's gonna give you the answer. There was so many people that weren't numbers people at the bank, it didn't even make sense. But as you are here today, right, on this planet, claiming you need money for everything, why haven't you taken the chance or the time to learn it? Why is it always, whenever you ask somebody, what does the bank do? They always regurgitate the same thing. It's a Federal Reserve note. It's a fiat. It's a tool. They all regurgitate the same thing instead of understand what it is. Where does the bank invest their money? They invest their money in gold and precious metal and oil, and they invest their money in the blockchain. And they say all these things, and I'm like, wow, people really just don't get it. Everybody regurgitate the same thing that they done heard. And it's mainly because I won't say that. Let me say this. You have to learn this system that you don't like. This system that you dislike so much, you have to learn it. This system that you can't stand so much, it's the same system that when you repeat all these things that you think came from everywhere, that gave you that information. You know how many times I hear people start throwing up statistics and stuff like that? You need to read a book. You need to do this and this and you need to do that. Well, if you go read the book, where you get the information from? Who do they get their information from? The same system that you don't like. How does one learn a system? Well, that's an amazing question. To everybody that's on the live, if you're, obviously majority of people in the United States of America here, whatever place you in, whatever business you in, whatever country you in, wherever you at, right there in the chat, what do you believe your country, the place that you live, what do you believe is the most important thing for them? Like, what do you think the most important thing is for the United States of America? Put it in the chat. I just want to see what y'all think. And I'm gonna answer your question, but I want y'all to. I just want to see where you at. What do you think is the most important thing? Rights, capitalism. Okay. To keep more people dumb. Okay. Sure. Maybe. Land, like that right there. Okay. Foreign affairs. Okay. I like that too. I feel that too. Right. What else? What else do you feel like? That you stay a consumer? That's a fact. 100%. So the capitalism thing, that's a real thing. 100%. Consumerism, okay. Cool. Justice, okay. Now I want y'all to think about this for a second. Power, okay. Power again. Freedom, okay. Well, not what's the most important thing to you. What's the most important thing to the powers that be in your country and the business that you're in or whatever it is? What's the most important thing to them, not to you? When you answer that question, whatever that may be, whatever you feel, there's no right or wrong answer. How much information do you know about what you believe is important to the country that you live in? How much do you know about wealth? How much do you know about taxes? How much do you know about consumership? How much do you know about influence? How much do you know about foreign affairs? How much do you know about capitalism, money, rights, justice? How much do you know about these different things? And ask yourself, say to yourself, once you answer that question for yourself, if you can say there's a whole lot more I need to learn about it, why aren't you digging on that? Why aren't you digging on that stuff to figure out how to make this stuff happen for you? Say as much as you should. Watch this. When I was at Bank of America, and I've shared this story a lot, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I wanted to know everything about money. And the only people or entity that I knew that knew everything about money was the banks. So I started digging on everything that the banks were actually doing, not what they were saying, because what they were saying was completely different than what they were doing. So I started digging on everything that I saw the bank do. I wanted to build generational wealth for my bloodline, to have wealth in my family for hundreds and hundreds of years. There ain't nobody on this planet that know more about building generational wealth than somebody that then had wealth in their family for 2, 3, 4, 500 years. It's not gonna happen. So what did I do? I started digging on everything that these people were doing. And I started doing what these people and what these entities were doing. I realized something extremely powerful in that process. I figured out a whole bunch about what happens with money by the entity that knows everything about money. And then I figured out what happened on when these people building up all this wealth for hundreds and hundreds of years. I figured out what they were doing. I started doing what they were doing. But the one thing that was the most, appreciate your family, the one thing that was the most powerful to me, you too, family, the one thing that was the most powerful to me was it was about people last name. More powerful than money. Hell, really more power than this thing we call generational wealth. Everything that you got in your refrigerator, what you sitting on right now, the chair, shoes on your feet, clothes on your back, cars you drive, the powers that be, wealth for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, is somebody's last name. It's somebody's last name. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else that you can actually think of. It has everything to do with it being somebody's last name. It's almost scary when you break it down and start to see this. And when I saw this stuff in real time, I said to myself, the only way that I can build a type of wealth for generations to come, I have to make it about my last name. I didn't mysteriously go retire 25 of my other family member because I liked them. I didn't bring my family close because I kept saying, hey man, it's the right thing to do. When I was mimicking what I saw these wealthy people and these banks do, it became about their last name. So in order for me to mimic that, I had to make it about my last name. That's the difference. You want to figure out how to get out of your situation? Figure out what type of situation you want to be in. Figure out what's important to you. And once you figure out what's important to you, go learn everything you can learn about it and start implementing these things. It ain't more complicated than that, y'all. It ain't nothing scary about it. You can be upset that it ain't fair. You can be down about you having the worst luck possible. The reality of it is what you know today on what you feel is important in the place where you live. You should learn everything about it because whatever you feel is the most important to the place that you live in. Guess what, y'all? It aligns to how you feel about things. We had people that said power is the most important thing in their country. Power is important to you too. We had people that said freedom is the most important thing in their country. That's important to you too. Money, rights, capital, whatever you name, it's the most important thing to you too. You got to start looking at this this thing a lot different. Stop thinking that the cup is half full or half empty and just know that it's refillable. Period. If you don't understand that realistically, what's up, family? You have the power to accomplish anything you want to accomplish. You just got to do it. And stop using any excuse that you come up with. It's fear. They gatekeeping. Ain't nobody gonna let us get that far. Man, most businesses fail within 2 years. Man, I can't trust nobody else. I can't even trust my family. I ain't got no family. All these excuses that you're giving yourself, you're telling 35 trillion cells in your body that you already defeated. And no matter how you slice it and dice it, you're right. Because the gift in all of this stuff is you got the power to accomplish all these different things if you just put one foot in front of the other and keep it pushing. 2025 is so unforgiving. And the light at the end of the tunnel for some people is a train. 100%. And if I am being completely honest, as I always do anyway, you don't understand how important the people that you say you care about and love the most are vitally important to you. You have so many people now talking about, man, I'm gonna buy me a little piece of land, I'm gonna build me a compound. And ain't even went and looked at a piece of land. What are you looking at? Well, I like this area over here. Appreciate your family. I like this area over here, but I don't know. Okay. You're gonna build a compound. Who the compound gonna be for? Me and my family? When the last time you talked to my family? Man, it's been a while since I talked to the people in my family. I talked to my people in my house, but I talked to my brother about a week ago. When last time you talked to your cousin? When last time you talked to your aunt? When last time you talked to your grandmother, your grandfather, if they still around? When last time you talked to your cousin, your niece, your nephews? What holiday just passed? If a holiday didn't pass, you ain't holler at nobody. Man, I just been working. I know. Working at doing nothing. Your job is not your boss. Your light bill is your boss. Your mortgage, your rent is your boss. Your car payment is your boss. The gas that you put in your vehicle is your boss. The grocery bills is your boss. Every time you go out and go get another bill, you just added another job or another boss to your process. You got to start making these things make sense. You got to start making these things make sense and stop looking at all of these distractions, man. These distractions got people in a chokehold for real. And these are vital things that a lot of people miss out on, and they miss out on it because they occupy with everything. It's people that wake up right now today in 2025 and Every morning when they wake up, they going to see what's going on with the Diddy case. Every morning, what's happening with Diddy? What's happening with Trump? What did Trump do today? Let me wake up. Let me see what Trump did today. These are all distractions, y'all. Straight up and down. And everybody and their mama fall into these traps every single day. No matter what you look like, no matter what the situation is, you fall into it. And it constantly throws you off your square. There are people I got on social media right before I got on these lives, and it could just be my algorithm that popped up. They were talking about what's at the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, who went to the bottom of the ocean? They'll come back and tell us. Ain't nothing I can do about the people, whatever it is at the bottom of the ocean. I ain't never going to the bottom of the ocean. No desires at all because I can't breathe down there at all. So why am I worried about what's happening at the bottom of the ocean? Leave them alone. I want them to leave me alone. Whatever down there, let them things or whatever it is be. They been letting us be. They ain't coming up here messing with us. What's out there in space? Well, they really ain't no space, y'all. It's just this. Leave whatever's out there be. Mind your business. Put your mind on whatever business that you're trying to cultivate because the reality of it is this is where you need to be. When you wake up first thing in the morning, you got your cell phone. You don't even know if you can walk. You wake up, your alarm clock, if you got one, you don't got one, you open your eyes, the first thing you do, you look up, you reach over there for your cell phone, and you look at your cell phone, and you don't even know if you can walk. You ain't even stood up to see if you can walk. And the first thing you done did is reach for your cell phone, and you got that UV light on your face. The math don't math, y'all. It's like you're programmed to be distracted. And you worried about your kids. Kids do what they see you do. So the same way you mad that your kid walking around with their phone all day, you told them. They always got that phone in their hand. That's what's wrong with the world right now. Every time you turn around, the kid can't even walk straight. They looking down at their phone. Who bought the phone? You. Who bought the tablet? You. It was cheaper than getting a babysitter. I get it. You're distracted. You want your kids to be distracted. Now, you might not be thinking that way when you're doing it, but that's what you're telling the world. Whatever the world makes important, that's what's pushed. Because all of it is to keep you imbalanced. We've been in the process over these last few weeks, and that's why I've been kind of going live sporadically right now, right? Over these last few weeks. Um, we should be getting all the permits for these 12 properties that we're about to build. And I'm a little nervous and I'm excited about it because I know we're going to be running full-fledged 100 miles. It is what it is. We done made some adjustments on the things we need to make some adjustments on. We done made some different decisions than what we would normally make based off of what we seeing and what we think is to come. And I'm sitting back right now and I'll be like in, different places like, your Home Depots, your Lowe's, or whatever it is, and I'll see like builders in there or people that are investors, and they buying material and doing different stuff. And these people be on a timetable like crazy, y'all. And I'm not suggesting this because I know this is probably not the best course of action for folks, right? But so many people be asking me, like, man, you be building these home cash, man. Like, it'll be so much better if you did it through the bank. Use other people money. Appreciate your family. If you use other people money, you'll be so much better off, man. You get so much more done. And I don't disagree with that process, but I also understand the carrying costs that you have while you're using other people's money, especially when you're building properties. What's up, family? Thank you. You building properties out, other people's money is in effect, and you got a payment while you actually using other people's money. So now you got to meet this payment, this extra payment every single month. Your builder dragging his foot here and there. You can't get this done. You can't get that done on time. There's a delay here with weather. There's a delay with that. Who's paying for all of that? You. Think about that. Think about what I'm saying. I was looking at my homeboy. He has, I want to say he got like 5 properties right now. And he he got mortgages on all his properties. He, rehabbed them, rented them out. And he was like, man, I'm looking at these next rehab properties. The spreads ain't like they used to be, man. Like it ain't that much money in rehabbing properties like that, man. The rental property, keeping it and letting them pay off the property and building equity in it, man, is looking good, man. But this little cash flow that I'm getting, man, it's not enough. It's not enough at all, man. The mortgage payment, $1,800, and they giving me $2,200, man. I ain't making no money off of it, man. I got my equity off of it. That was cool. I ain't leave enough room in it. Now I gotta figure it out. My question was, what did you do with all the equity that you got back? Why you didn't reinvest it? Man, I had bills to pay. I ain't working no job. This is my full-time job, so I had to pay my bills. So now what? You're stuck. The only thing you can do at this point, if you got equity in it that's stuck, 20% worth of equity in each of these properties, the only thing you can do is possibly try to sell it and get some of that equity out of it. So you can go ahead and reinvest again. Or figure out how to do some upgrades somehow. Keep increasing the rent to make your money continue to go up. But you too scared to raise the rent. Why? Because if you get a vacancy, you can't afford to pay all these mortgages. What am I explaining right now? I'm explaining is whatever your path is that you're going to blaze it. It doesn't have to be the same as everyone else. In fact, it should be a little bit different. That's how you know you're on the right track. By the time somebody blazes that track, that door normally is closed. And once that door actually closes, it's game over. Let's see if I can switch these out real quick. Okay, so that's that. All right, well, that's it. That's that. This charger gonna be the end of me over here, and I don't want to lose. What platform is that? I think that's Instagram. Appreciate your family. So how do you do these things? Been talking to y'all for about the last hour. How do you do this stuff? Well, we've talked about how to do this from a lot of different places, wherever you're at in your life, right? So let me ask the question that's probably important. If you are new to my live, put a one in the chat. If you've been here once or twice, put a two in the chat. If you've been here the whole time, put a three in the chat. What's up, Lux? I just want to see where everybody at. Got a lot of day one folks on here. We got a couple of new people here. A couple of people kind of maybe been here once or twice. That's cool too. All right. So listen, and hear me when I say this. There are 100 million ways you can do almost all of these different things that I'm talking about. Whatever way you decide is the way that you decide. The way that I figured out that's been the most simplistic way for me and hundreds of other people that have decided to take or blaze that path, the way that in a similar fashion that I have, has been to put their money into three places. Put their money into basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy they can afford, and land. And what I've realized in putting your money into those three places, one is going to create discipline that you need. That's number one. Number two, and I don't know a better way to say this stuff, but this stuff will change your life. And I say it sometime lighthearted sometime because I be wanting people to kind of just stumble up in it. Like, let's see what he's talking about. Maybe he don't know. Maybe he do know. I don't know. Let's just see. I be wanting people to stumble up in there and just kind of just see. Because I know once they see it, they're not gonna be able to unsee it. And I'm gonna say this again. You about to stumble. I know that's right. I'm gonna say this again. They're not making no more land, y'all. They're not. I don't know how many days you got to get up and leave your house, drive to work, drive to the grocery store. On every corner, they're building. Every corner and even in between, they're building properties left and right. You'll see them building subdivisions. Then you'll see out of the blue, you might see a commercial. Oh, they about to build a little plaza right here. Oh, it's a plaza, but it's real estate, residential properties on top. They got apartments on top of the commercial stuff. Okay, that's cool. And a whole bunch of different homes, whole bunch of different homes. Here go another commercial building. Oh, there's another apartment complex on top of that. Then somewhere in that little radius, you'll see them build like a little gas station. Or they building a shopping center right there. Why? For all these properties they just built. And it's not like there's a shortage of homes. It's definitely not a shortage of homes out there. I think we probably got too many homes right now, if I'm being honest. And I ain't gonna say it's not too many. I'm not even gonna say it's too many homes. The way where the interest rate is today, people just really can't afford it. They just can't, and they're doing everything in their power to afford it, but they can't. More people are renting today than ever. It just is what it is. And it's going to continue to happen that way. There are so many people that you think right now that own a home and they renting a house. I started to see that a few years ago. That was pretty interesting. Like, oh man, come to the crib, man. I got my new crib, man. I hope you like my crib. How about you get there? Man, this crib nice, man. You did that, family. Mortgage on this thing probably run you an arm and a leg. Nah, man, the rent on this thing, man, I'm spending like 3 grand a month. You said rent, huh? Yeah, man, the rent on this thing, man, I'm spending like 3 grand a month. People renting their houses because the owner couldn't sell it, so they decided to rent it out. You couldn't afford to buy it because the rent prices and the mortgage price are the same amount. But when you add everything in with the responsibility of becoming a homeowner, you can't afford it. You just add another $1,500 a month onto your rent that you didn't have. So it's better for you just to rent it and call it a day. It's a scary thought. So why land? It is way cheaper for you to build a home than to go buy a house. Let's just do some simple math. And somebody keep me honest, please. The average home in America right now is $483,000. That's the average home. If you go purchase that home and you go get a mortgage because you don't have $438,000 cash to purchase that home, you go get that mortgage on it. Let's say you at a 5.5% interest rate, which is really unheard of right now, and you stay in that property for 30 years. In 30 years, you're going to give the bank $1.1 million. Now, in 30 years, that property going to be worth 1.2, guaranteed. But you paid 1.1 for it. If we're being honest, that's not even going to include your property taxes that you have on it. Most of the people in beautiful neighborhoods, they got a pool in the neighborhood, so they got an HOA. And as the value of your property go up, so does your property taxes. So all in over the time, you're gonna be to spent $1.2 million for that $438,000 home. Meanwhile, your home don't even sit on an acre of land. It probably don't even sit on a half an acre. There's a good chance that your house sit on a quarter acre land. A good chance, if we're being honest. 1.2 million is what you spent. Watch this. I can go right now to an area about 30 minutes out from the city, just like you gonna be anyway, right? And when I get 30 minutes outside of the city, I can go and buy me, let's say I'm in Georgia. Let's say, what's a good little city? Let's say 30 minutes out, I can be close to Stockbridge. I can be in Fairburn. I can be in Griffin. I can be in Lithonia. I can be in Liburn. I can be in Sugarloaf. I can be in Marietta. I can be in West Cobb. I could be in all these different places. Kennesaw, Covenant a little bit about an hour. Gainesville is about 45 minutes to an hour. But I can be a little bit closer than those places. Kennesaw probably gonna be the top of there, right? Let me say it this way. I can go to Ackworth right now and go get me about 2 acres. I'm probably gonna spend somewhere around about, because Ackworth's still up and coming. I'm gonna spend somewhere around about 30, 40 grand for those 2 acres. 15 to 20,000 an acre out there. Just because they up and coming, especially with the stadium getting close out there, the Braves Stadium getting close out there, they taxing a little bit, right? And that's me being extreme. Let's be even more extreme and say it cost me 60 grand for 2 acres. Okay? I spent $60,000 for 2 acres of land. There's utilities out there, the whole 9 yards. So it ain't gonna cost me no whole bunch of money for the utilities. I'm not gonna have any impact fees because I'm not bringing nothing new to that area. There's already homes out there. There's already structure already out and built out there. Not in the woods. It's still city. Okay. So I done spent the 60 grand. If I want to go get me a property that's worth $438,000, it would cost me somewhere around, I'm going to go a little bit extreme and say it cost me somewhere around about $250,000 to build that house. And I damn near have me a property worth 500 grand. But I'm going to say 250 on the extreme side. I can spend that $60,000 plus another $250,000. I'll be all in somewhere around about $310,000 and have me a house worth $438,000 on 2 acres of land without a mortgage. Without ever getting to that $1.2 million, even though in 30 years, I will be at $1.2 million valuation, the same way you have the same evaluation. The only difference is your house is free and clear 30 years later, and you just spent 1.2. I spent 310, add some property tax over the last 30 years. I didn't spent somewhere, let's say an extra 200 grand. I don't freaking know. I didn't spent 500,000 to get that 1.2. You spent 1.2 to get that 1.2. That's why you buy land. Because it's gonna hurt you like heck to spend that money to get up to that value that you want to build the property you want. It's gonna take you time. You gotta be patient. So many other people are gonna go get that turnkey property and be happy, and they're gonna have a mortgage. 5 years in, you finally got the money. 5 years in, you finally got the money to build your property. They done been in their home for 5 years. In 5 years, after you done got the money to build that property, in year 6, they still gonna have a mortgage. You not. That's why you buy land. It's powerful. And that's not even a tip of the iceberg of what you can do with the land. Why that life insurance policy? Because you're leaving this planet. You're gonna leave this planet. I don't know why people think they're gonna be here forever. You're leaving this planet. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're leaving this planet. If people would do just the simplest thing, let's say you don't have money to get you a whole life insurance policy, some that got a living benefit and a death benefit, right? Let's say you 40 years old and your health is decent, but to get a big old whole life insurance policy with your health, it just ain't gonna be what you can do, right? You can go right now and it's say it's 4 people in your household. It's you, your spouse, and y'all 2 kids. And let's just say you want to go and say, all right, I'm 40 some years old. Let me go get me some term policies on everybody in this house. I'm going to go and I'm going to wind up doing $250,000 on everybody. Term life insurance policy. 30 years. 30-year term policy. $250,000 a piece. It's for y'all in there. That's $1,000,000 over 30 years, right? And that's just because I can't afford it. You can go get that policy for somewhere around a few $100s a month. And if something happens to you, you know at least $250,000 is going to kickstart the next thing. And every time you have somebody born in your family, your kids start to have kids, put a policy on them. If you put a life insurance policy on everybody in your family that you care about and love to death, your kids, your spouse, your parents, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, well, you just started your generational wealth. If we're being honest, and that's at the simplest form. That's without getting super complicated and talking about whole life insurance policies, IUL. That's without talking about any of those things. If you made it a point that when everybody is born into your family, they get a life insurance policy and they will have a life insurance policy until they leave this planet, there's your generational wealth. That's at the simplest form. Think. Definitely get with your life insurance broker and just let them know what you got going on in regards to your business, and just ask them. They'll set it up for you, and they'll set up the perfect one for you based on what you make. Lux in the building. Lux, I know you can give them that code that they're looking for. Appreciate your family. But these are things that you can do. Oh, that's a bet right there, Lux. What's up, Chef? How you feeling, family? But these are things you want to make sense out of, y'all. You need land. You need life insurance. And you got to cover your basic living expenses. Those three things is where the rubber meets the road. All these other things that you're doing outside of those three things, you're only putting yourself in a deeper hole. It's like you won't stop digging. And the goal, in order to get out of a hole, you got to stop digging. That's just the truth. Okay? The other thing you need to think about is this. Once you get those three things rolling and you start to see some traction and you start to grow your wealth, grow money, grow your time, all these different things, now it's time to put the other four things into place. And the secret is, if you do those three things, those four things you probably will already have. What were those three things? Basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land, right? Watch this. The four things that you're going to have once you get the ball rolling: a business. It shouldn't be a reason why you don't have a business, right? Land. Well, you've been buying land anyway. We've been talking about it, right? That big old whole life insurance policy, you should have your life insurance policy. We've been talking about it. And the fourth thing is a trust. Why? Even though you're going to leave this planet, you don't want to leave whatever you want to leave behind to the people that you care about and love the most in the hands of the state. You don't want it to be going through probate. So you're going to have to get that trust to plan for when you do leave this planet, to outline what you want to happen, how you want things to move, so you can avoid that lengthy probate process. Your family not going to like it. Once you have those four things in play, which you should get those by doing those three things, right? Once you have those four things in play, now you can start moving different pieces on the board to make better decisions than what you were ever able to make in your life. I laugh sometimes, like I had this, well, let me not say I had, because it's not, it is past tense, but it just is what it is. I got a family member that that wasn't in the circle of 25. Let me say that. And this family member, I don't know if it's hate, jealousy, I don't envy, I don't know what it is. But this dude, for whatever reason, when he see me, man, it's all love. I'm wishing you the bestest. I got your back. All these different things. But when he not around me, everybody mama come back and tell me how much this dude do not like me, and he's my blood family. And before, I would ignore it, just be like, whatever. And then when we would start to do things as a family together, this joker would show up. And recently we had a little get together, and he was there and all in my face. Hey man, I want to know about this, man. I want to tackle this, man. I want to do this, I want to do that. And I had to tell him, bro, the best thing you can do for yourself is be true to you. I don't be around people that I don't like. And I'm one of those petty people too. If I find out you don't like me, I'm probably trying to make it worse. And being that I know you don't like me, I'm never going to share anything with you that I think will ever help you. And you're my blood. That's just me. Because if you're not in line with the progression of my last name, then you're against me. And I'm not one of those people that believe that, well, you got to be the bigger person. Okay, I am. And I'll continue to be without that person being around me, without me lending that helping hand to a person that just can't get out of their own way. I want people to understand that at some point, you're going to show the people that you deem in your family to care about and love the most unconditional love. Anybody outside of that, even if they are a part of your family, if they're outside of the people that you show unconditional love to, if they're not helping you, if they're not adding value, don't keep putting yourself in a position to be around these toxic people. Don't do it. Don't keep beating yourself over the head trying to help people that don't want to be helped. Now, that's something I had to learn the hard way. because I'll get on social media and I'll be live like I am right now, and I'll be like, hey, I got my own network, Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. It's $12.99 a month for you to enter in and absorb all of this knowledge that you say you crave so much. And I'll sometimes be on here trying to push people to get it, and hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I had to take a couple steps back, and that's why I slowed down on these lives a lot. I had to take a step back. What's up, family? I took a step back because I said to myself, the stuff that I'm giving people will absolutely change their life. Why the heck would I ever be on a platform trying to beg somebody or share with somebody on how to change their life? They either want it or they don't. It has no impact on me. I would be pulling tooth and nails with folks, trying to get people to understand that, hey, I can show you just some very simple things in my actions on what I do and how you can apply those things yourself and change your life. Think. It's like, well, so what is it, family? It's like Netflix. You get to watch these shows. I'm live over there. We go way deeper than what we go over here on these social media platforms. Way deeper. And more important than all of that, the community of people over there are absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's so unreal just how many powerful people are on that platform from all walks of life, all got the same goal. They trying to do what's best for their last name. And it's just so unreal when I think about it. I sit back sometime and I'm in awe with just how much talent, so much talent that's just there and so free willing. I'm over here like, all right, I'm gonna get on my platform and I'm gonna share this information. I'm gonna share this, and I'm gonna teach people how to do this, and I'm gonna teach people how to do that. I'm over there like, I'm learning too. I'm learning so much that just yesterday, right? Even though it's my platform, not mine, it's our platform at this point. All the law abiding citizens that's over there, right? I subscribe today. I subscribe to my own platform. I got all the access to go in and see and do all the things I need to do. I subscribe to my own platform today. What is happening? Oh, hold on, y'all. There we go. I had to. I was like, man, and the crazy part about it is, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. That's the real scary part about this stuff, y'all. It's not about the money. It's about you figuring out how to connect the dots. Everybody that's on this platform know how to go out and go get some money. Whether it's you going to work in a job, your own business, everybody on this platform know how to go get out and go get money. It's about you understanding how to connect the dots. Once you learn how to connect the dots, it's game over. You can't unsee this stuff, y'all. I've been showing people, and I'm taking the network. Definitely, the network is on the journey with me right now. This road to touching or becoming a billionaire. And that's the part where it's like, I see why people be stressed. I see why people be stressed so much when it comes to money. And I'm always going to say the same things. It's not money, it's about time. It's about you spending it with the people that you say you care about and love the most. None of this other stuff don't matter, y'all. The mere fact that I've been on live right now for 2 hours, started at what, 3:30, almost 4 o'clock. No, 3:30. Yeah, started at 3:30 on this live. I ain't clocking in nowhere. I ain't running to go and, man, I gotta go check on my employee. I ain't doing that. Think. Think about what I'm saying. Shout out to you, fam, for tapping in. Shout out to you and thank you for your daughter bringing you through. For sure. I'm sitting here today and I'm saying to myself, at this time right now, it is 5:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would have just left the office of Bank of America getting ready to fight rush hour traffic. I wouldn't be getting home to come and sit in my movie theater to around 7 p.m. tonight. That's a scary thought when I look back on it. When I look at my kids and I say to myself, man, watching my son, my baby boy who ain't never seen his mom and dad work a day in his life. This stuff is wild, y'all. When I'm getting just able to just have those moments with my kids, with my spouse, I'm saying to myself, yo, this is some wild stuff, y'all. I wouldn't trade it for the world because I understand how important those people are. There's no amount of fear that will ever stop me from doing the things that I have to do because I know it's worth having the time to spend with the people that I say I care about and love the most. Think about that for a second. Say, what do you do? In the simplest form, I'm part owner of America. I'm a landowner. As of today, I own right at 400, it's like 400.36. I own 400 acres of land, no loans as of today. I have my own network, Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. It's like Netflix. Shows over there, they air all the time. We go live over there. We was going live over there twice a week. Now we go live over there, about to start going every single day over there. That's what it's about to start looking like. But last week, I think we went over there like 3 or 4 times. This week, only so far today. We went this morning. We'll be back up over there again tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday and possibly Friday too. We're going to start going live over there every single day. I own a toilet paper company called Triumph Tissue. 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets is the closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk. But I ain't out here selling to y'all. I might get another round with the government. We planted 100 acres of pecan trees back in 2023. We ain't selling pecan pies. Think about what I'm saying. U.S., I'm just saying. I got land with this on it. And I think next week I'm gonna try. I can't make no promise because I know how the social media thing works when you're talking about this. Um, I got to go down and check on some things. So I'm gonna try to pop live out there while I'm out there, and we'll see what happens. I'm probably not gonna be able to talk much. I'm just gonna have to walk and film a little bit. Think about what I'm saying. And it's almost scary to even think about these things when I sit back sometimes and I'm saying to myself, look, y'all, I'm on live right now for free. It ain't costing you a dime to listen to what I'm saying. And we've been doing this for the last 145 weeks. Or yeah, 45 weeks, 145 weeks, yeah. And the only thing you gotta do when you hear what I'm saying, don't take my word. Go research it. Think about it. Research it some more. Think about it some more. And then go take some action. That's what it's really about. Forget what I'm talking about. How does this stuff make a difference in your life? I can tell you, for me, retire my wife, retire myself, retire 25 of my other family members. I can tell you how it impacted my life. But how does it help you? We talked about the things that you need to focus on, the things that you need to start to learn, the things that you need to start to understand. And I'm going to tell you the biggest problem that most people have in these scenarios is they too emotional when it comes to money. They take it too personal. And it's not personal, it's just business or it's a private matter. Don't let that go over your head. There are people on my live right now that think they need money for everything. And they don't realize you don't need money personally for nothing. It's almost a scary thought. It's a scary way of thinking about it. Think of it this way. Well, let me ask the question. What do you use money personally for today? What do you use money personally for today? Put it in the chat. For my day one people been through this exercise more than once, y'all can help them out. We already know, right? Appreciate your family. Appreciate you. What do y'all use money personally for today? Food, we know that's gonna come up. That's just a given, right? Food, 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 food. Appreciate your family. What kind of goods? I like that. Goods. Groceries. Take care of yourself. Clothes. Okay, that's fair. Upkeep. Okay. Okay. Bills. What kind of bills? Car notes. Okay. Light bill. Travel for work. Housing. Okay. Okay. Shelter. Clothes. Food. Oh no, I appreciate you, family. Trust me, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for applying the stuff, right? You need money to fix your credit. Okay, that's fair. Okay. What else? Kids. Kids. Okay, I get it. Kids can be expensive, right? Day to day needs. What does that mean? What exactly does that mean? Day to day needs. What does that mean? Gas for your vehicle. Okay. Housing, insurance, utility, transportation, travel, gift, worship. Wow, that's powerful right there. I like all those things you said. And y'all done said a lot of beautiful things. Gold and silver, rent, tuition. I like that too. What if I told y'all ain't told me one thing that y'all need money personally for? What if I told y'all Y'all ain't told me one thing y'all need money personally for at all. And I'm gonna tell y'all firsthand, like for me, when I came when I had this aha moment, I was almost embarrassed, and probably not embarrassed for the same reason that y'all might think the embarrassment. I was embarrassed because I thought I knew everything about money. Here I am working at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, making a couple hundred grand a year. I thought I knew everything about money. And when I got to the realization that I don't need money personally at all for anything, I was embarrassed. But it also was game over. See, we use money the wrong way. We use it personally. So when it comes down to your money, we take it personally. I'm going to give you an example. We're going to talk about it, Ken. I got you. Watch this. If you can pull out some cash, hopefully, if you got a dollar bill from the United States of America, a $2 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, a $20 bill, a $50 bill, a $100 bill, I don't care if it's a $250 bill. Pull it out for me. Don't worry. I ain't gonna send around no collection plate. I just want you to pull it out so y'all can keep me honest. Okay? On each platform, if you can pull out that currency for me, I want you to put a one in the chat. I just need one person from each platform to do it for me, and I'll show it to you. I'll prove it. It's almost scary. I appreciate your family. Got one person over there. That's cool. All right. Appreciate you, family. Got a person there. Instagram, anybody, if y'all got some cash. If not, y'all gonna have to bleed these other platforms. So for while y'all keep me honest, I'm gonna ask the question. Any type of dollar bill, $20 bill, $5, just anything. It doesn't matter to me. But I need everybody that got money, some cash in their hand, to look at the back of your money. That's fine. Pull out the back of your money. Pull out your money. Look at the back. Okay. On the back of your money, at the top, you should see something that says the United States of America. Okay. If you see the United States of America on the back of your money at the top, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to make just to keep me honest. Put a 2 in the chat if you see the United States of America on the back of your money at the top. Okay. So I ain't tripping. Okay. The United States of America is not a country. This might bake your noodle a little bit, but I'm going to say it slowly again. The United States of America is not a country. It's all good. It's not a country, y'all. The United States of America is not a country. It is a business. And before anybody says a corporation is a business too. They the same thing, right? Corporation is a business is a corporation, right? Just so we all on the same page. I just want to make sure we all together. The reason why I know the United States of America is not a country and it is a business, countries have kings and queens. Businesses have presidents and vice presidents like your job. I'm going to say that one more time, just a little bit slower. Countries have kings and queens. Businesses have presidents and vice presidents like your job. Just so we on the same page. So if it's a business, you already there. So if it's a business, right? The United States of America is a business. It's also a public business. It's also a public business. Just want to make sure we all on the same page. You said that's what got Trump voted in? Maybe. Let's keep going. Right below the United States of America, you should see something that says, "In God We Trust." If you see "In God We Trust" below the United States of America on the back of your money, put a 3 in the chat. If you see "In God We Trust" right below the United States of America on the back of your money, put a 3 in the chat. Okay, so I ain't tripping. Now, this part I was told, I don't know if it's true, but it made a whole bunch of sense to me. I was told that "In God We Trust" is the name of the United States of America's trust. If that's true, we all know a trust is private, right? If it's public, it goes into business. If it's private, it goes into trust. This stuff been on your money the whole time. It hasn't changed. It's been giving you the directions that you need that you ain't never paid attention to. Now I know what you're saying. Zabo, that was pretty good. You just kind of threw that out there and it made sense, but that ain't what it said. You just kind of put that together. So you got to come a little bit harder than that, bro. Put your reading glasses on. Turn your money around to the front. You should see something in fine print that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." I'm going to read that again without even looking at it. "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." Put a 4 in the chat if you see that on the front of your money. Because maybe I'm making it up too. The question is, why is it there? It's instructions. And it's been there the whole time. And you ain't never paid attention to. But since you take your money personally, you get emotional about it. And you don't understand that if it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. Well, let me say it in the language that you've heard before. Because you probably haven't heard if it's public, it goes in a business. If it's private, it goes in a trust. The way you probably heard it was, it ain't personal, it's just business, or it's a private matter. Or maybe I'm making it up too. Let's get back to what you use your money personally for. I just showed you on your money, not no straw man. I just showed you on your money how you're using it. You should be using it for public and private use, never personal. Now I'm going to explain how you've been witnessing this stuff your whole life and you ain't paid attention. Watch. Anytime I ask somebody, what do you use your money personally for? The first thing that pops up every single time is food. Food, food, food. A lot of y'all went to work this morning and didn't want to be there. Mad that you had to go to work. Upset, furious. And you had a bunch of your coworkers there feeling the same way as you. The morale sucks at y'all job. It ain't like y'all bosses don't know that. What they do to try to get y'all morale up? They don't get y'all no raise. You ain't get no bonus. You know what they do? Buy y'all pizza, put some wings on it, get y'all a couple of Pepsis, and then they expense it because food is public. I got 99 employees. 8 of those 99 employees is me, my wife, and all 6 of our kids. The one thing none of my employees ever have to worry about when they come to work is buying food. The business buy food for them every single day, and then the business expense it. Think about what I just said. What's the next thing that pops up for folks? Shelter. I'm walking around in a 7,000 square foot home right now. This ain't my house. It's one of the trust house. So when them bills come into my house, those ain't my bills. They the trust bills. I ain't got no bills. I hope y'all putting this stuff together. What's the next thing that pop up? Man, you gotta have clothes. You gotta have shoes. You can't go outside without no clothes on. Y'all on this live right here to get free information from me. I'm on here to show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes. Why? Zabo103 also one of my businesses. And even though I ain't getting paid on none of these platforms, business expense, business expense, business expense, business expense. I don't know what else I got on. Business expense. I can keep going. You got a small business at your home, don't you? Don't you write off the square footage of your office? If you don't, you should. I'm conducting business in my movie theater. You don't think I'm writing off the square footage of this? When I'm in my office, you don't think I'm writing the square footage off of that? When I'm in my gym conducting business, you don't think I'm writing off the square footage, or at my bar or in my pool hall? You don't think I'm writing off the square footage of that? Think. Should monetize your social media? Mm, it gets watered down when you do it. Social media do some weird stuff to you. And I don't want to work for them. What's the next thing come up? Vehicle. Last year in 2024, around February, my wife, one of her businesses needed a vehicle. So her business went out and bought a 2024 long body Range Rover, paid $153,000 cash for it. And being that it weighed 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS allowed us to write the whole thing off. Tax code 179. One of my businesses at the end of last year needed a vehicle. So my business went and bought a 2025 Cadillac Escalade, paid $152,000 cash for it. Ain't no car note. Being that it weighed over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, the IRS allowed us to write that one off also as well. So when you put gas in those vehicles, it's a business expense. When you do maintenance on those vehicles, it's a business expense. Because your vehicle is public. You're driving on a public road. Tell me the last time you drove on a personal road outside of your driveway. Go. Tell me where you driving on these personal roads outside of your driveway. I'm all ears. The last time I checked, all the way to your job, all the way home until you got to your driveway, you were driving on a public road. Words matter. Man, these kids costing me an arm and a leg, man. And all my kids got to go to college too. This is some wild stuff. Why your kids ain't your employee? Man, my kid 14 years old. They got to be 15 in my state in order for them to be my employee. Not if you got farmland. If you got farmland, your kids can start working for you out the womb. Uh-oh. This is going to get scary. Well, they got to go to college. They got to get a good education. And tuition ain't cheap. I don't want my kids to have no student loans. I'm going to need money personally for that. Here you are working a job. If you go to school for something at your job that's in the field of where you work at, your job will give you tuition reimbursement. You don't think if your kids, your employees, you can't offer your employees tuition reimbursement? Sound like your tuition reimbursement for those kids that's your employee just became public and also a business expense. I can keep going. Think about what I'm saying. Man, what about this entertainment stuff, man? What about traveling, man? You got to be able to do all this. Y'all saw me and my wife just get back from Barbados. And before that, Indonesia. And before that, Turks and Caicos. And before that, Los Cabos. And before, I can keep going. We went on vacation. It happened to be around our vacations or anniversary. We was on location, a business trip. You telling me when you go on a business trip with your job, you taking out your personal debit card or your personal credit card? What your job paying for? The flight, the car rental, the hotel, and food. And being that we do content as well, is also paying for all the pretty clothes and pretty shoes. It's also paying for the camera crew. It's also paying for the ATV in. It's also paying for, we can keep going. I don't know what the laws are over in Africa. So you have to check what the laws are when it comes to business. I don't even know if y'all have taxes like that over there. So I'm not sure. But I'm certain that you can have a business over there, and I'm certain that you can have a trust. So I would just probably say the best thing to do if you're in another country, get with you a trust advisor. I mean, trust advisor, an estate planning attorney or a trust attorney to help you out on the private side. And then you might want to get with, they have business attorneys over there too, I'm sure. Get with a business attorney as well, and they'll be able to walk you through how to operate. See, a lot of this stuff is not about, see, how can I put this? While we're on this planet, we're not independently born wealthy. A lot of us aren't, right? We're trying to build wealth. And while we're trying to build wealth, you don't want to own this stuff. I think I saw somebody in the chat that said you want to control everything. But the real goal is just to be the beneficiary. You don't want to own it. You don't want to control it. You just want to benefit. That's that sweet spot that you're trying to create. See, one of the things that I wanted to do when I started this journey, at first, I just wanted to give everybody in my bloodline a head start on life. I just wanted to make that happen. And once I accomplished that, I realized something way more powerful. And we got about 400 people between all these lives that I'm on, right? I realized something way more powerful. I wanted to create the Batman effect for everybody else that's coming behind me to where they never need a job, never even got to start a business, ever. You can use some of the big banks as trustees. So like they got Bank of America, I think they still have U.S. Trust, or they might be using Merrill Lynch. They got Chase Trust. All these major banks have a trust side or wealth management side of your actual trust, and they can. Some banks have different net worths that you have to have, but it just depends, right? But you want to be able to. I wanted to be able to give my kids that Batman effect. So if all my son want to do when he grew up is color his whole life, he don't do nothing but just sit at home and color all day. He can sit at home all day and color for the rest of his life. What's up, family? That was my goal. That's what I wanted to accomplish. When I started moving these pieces into play, and I was like, whoa, I can actually do this. And it didn't take me billions and billions of dollars to do this. It was game over. And the reason why I thought it took me billions is because I thought I needed money personally. What's up, family? That's what I thought. I was wrong, y'all. I kept running around talking about, man, LeBron James is wealthy. You know how foolish I looked and I sound? And no disrespect to anybody that still believe that. But you can't walk around here knowingly. say things that you know ain't real. What do I mean? LeBron James worth right at about $2 billion, and people running around calling him wealthy when there's a young lady that writes his check and everybody else on the team check. He gets paid every pay period. Wealthy people don't trade time for money, y'all. Poor people trade time for money. Just so we all on the same page. Just so we clear. The owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, Mrs. Buss, I think that organization is worth about 65 billion. Can I call her wealthy? No. Can't call her wealthy either. Why? Because there's a person by the name of Elon Musk that's worth $441 billion. If we equate it to money, he ain't the same thing as LeBron James. He ain't the same thing as Miss Buss. If we're just being honest, can I call Elon Musk wealthy? No. I mean, once he stopped doing what he's doing, little X gonna be wealthy. He already wealthy. He gonna be in that atmosphere doing what he do. But I can't call Elon Musk worth $441 billion wealthy. If we equate wealth to money, when there's somebody out there by the name of Nathaniel Phillips worth $500 trillion walking around on this planet, if we creating wealth into money, you say without LeBron won't have two million without to claim. I don't know what that means. You're saying without LeBron she wouldn't be worth that? I mean, the Buss family been worth billions before LeBron James were even thought of. If we're being honest. See, people believe that wealth is money. Wealth is time. Nathaniel Philip Rothschild has had wealth in his family for over 500 years. Because wealth is time. It's not money. This is where it gets complicated for folks. It goes back to you taking your money personally, and you don't understand it's not personal, it's just business or it's a private matter. That's the part where it becomes scary. Here's the other crazy part, and we seeing it firsthand. We watching Sean Diddy Combs go through what he go through. He was a billionaire. He was a billionaire. And we watched him overnight from going from being a billionaire to worth 300 million. And as long as he go through the things that he going through right now, that's going to dwindle down to zero. See, a wise man once told me if you can count your money, you're broke. That's what a wise man told me. We seen it happen to Kanye. He was worth $11 billion at one point. We watched him in less than 24 hours go down to 400 billion. 400 million, I'm sorry. See, this is what people don't understand, and I had to come to the grips with this. When I started looking at what the banks was actually doing and what these wealthy people that they had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, when I started looking at what they were doing, all everything that I used to be distracted about, I wasn't distracted about no more. It went away. It was almost like overnight it changed because I couldn't unsee this stuff. I seen all these people that had wealth trading their money in for time. Maybe. I started seeing them trade their money in for time. All of them. All the true wealthy people, they have always traded their money for time. Always. I'll give you an example. If you work a job right now and you work for a Fortune 500 company, put a one in the chat. If you work for a pretty big company that got more than 100 employees, put a two in the chat. I just want to see the difference on where we at with people. If you work a job, it's a Fortune 500 company, put a one in the chat. If you work a job and you got over 100 people that work there, put a two in the chat. I just want to put this in perspective, okay? Watch this. No matter if this is a mega, mega super company or just a large corporation or a large business or small business or whatever it is, right? Watch this. When you got that job, when you very first got it, you had to go through some training. So you learn what to do, you'll learn some of what not to do, and all those good things, right? And you will put those things in perspective, right? You had somebody on to say, hey, this is what we do around this time of the day. We don't do that for real, for real. Even though that's what they got there, we don't do that for real, right? They have that, right? And that's cool, right? If you've been on your job for some time, you can kind of do these things with your eyes closed and not get in trouble. But there's still room for mistakes. You can make a bunch of mistakes on your job, and your job won't fire you. If it's too bad, they might write you up, maybe, right? If it's, you do something wrong, you might not get fired, you might just get wrote up. Might get a verbal, then a written, then a final, then they may term you after that final. But they're gonna go through a process if they got an HR department, right? You're not really gonna get in some aggressive trouble. So if you do something one time and one time only, the chances of you getting fired on your job for most things that are there, majority of the things, slim to none. It's like you'll just get feedback. Don't do it again, right? But there is one thing on your job that you can do, no matter which kind of company you work for. 100% of the time, if you do this wrong, there's a 99% chance you're getting fired. If you falsify your time sheets on your job, there's a great chance they're going to terminate you because wealthy people are giving you their money for your time so they can get their time back. I mean, I can make that up. Yeah, if you're a nurse, yeah, you mess up too bad, you can lose your license. That's a fact. You falsify that time sheet, you getting up out of there because they paying you for your time. Poor people trade time for money. Wealthy people trade money for time. Say wealthy people claim themselves as CEOs. You never see them. That's the myth. Let me give you an example. Who's the CEO of Bank of America? Anybody know? I know who it is, but I'll put it out there if y'all don't know. And if you Google it, you can Google it. Doesn't matter. Who's the CEO of Bank of America? Brian Moynihan. That's the CEO of Bank of America. Brian Moynihan is the CEO of Bank of America. Now watch this get a little complicated. Who's the owner of Bank of America? Somebody started that corporation. Somebody put the articles in place. Somebody filed for that tax ID number. Somebody created that business checking account. Who is the owner of Bank of America? Don't tell me the shareholders, because the shareholders cannot go in the bank and go get all the money. You get it? The trust could be that, maybe. That's possible. Or or somebody wealthy that you'll never know. That just putting layers on things to keep people guessing. See, what I started to figure out was if I wanted to do and accomplish the things about when it comes to money, the way the banks do the things, I had to do what I saw them do. If I wanted wealth in my bloodline for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to come, I had to do what I saw the wealthy people do that then had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds of years. There were two things that they did that were exactly alike. They bought land and they all had life insurance policies. Those two things were the only two constant things that they did. I know people want to say all this other stuff. It sounds great. It sounds amazing. But when I started practicing the two things that they do, it changed my life forever. So, how can you do this stuff? Let's get back to that. I kind of got off track a little bit. Let's get back there. Simple. Definitely, you need to become a law abiding citizen. 100%. Right? You need to make that happen. Right? Join in Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. Definitely should join the network 100% because you get to see these things in action in real time. It's $12.99 to enter. It is what it is. Less than a meal. The other thing you need to do is you need to get back to those three basic things: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. Okay? Wherever there's land that you can buy, I don't care if it's in the inner city, I don't care if it's on the outskirts, it don't matter. Land is great everywhere. So everyone buy life insurance policies, name the family trust as the beneficiary. A lot of people do it. I'm not gonna go into details on on these platforms because I don't want to put out that information here. But that can be a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. Making your life insurance policy, making your trust the beneficiary of your life insurance policy. If you're gonna do that in your family living trust, I'm assuming that's a revocable family living trust that you're speaking about. Um, the revocable living trust is definitely going to prevent your things from going through probate, which I think is amazing. It is somewhat protected, but not really. Um, being that it's a revocable living trust, it's still subject to be attacked. It can be. Um, and I think that that's where you have to kind of sit with an attorney that specializes in trust or specializes in estate planning to make the best decisions on what you want to happen for you and your bloodline. But there's 100 other things you can do. Trust me on that one. It's not really a certain order, I should say, but it is something that you gotta think through. So think of it this way, right? If I had to start all the way over again, right? I can, 100%. Because I go to zero by the end of the year. By December 31st, I go to zero every single year. So basically, I start over fresh every year, right? Well, not really land is the easy. It's not that one is easier than the other. It's just about you putting it into perspective, right? In a way to moralize it. It's like a, in order for your bike to move the way your bike moves, there's the pedal, there's the chain, there's the wheels, there's the handlebars. Everything got to work the way it's supposed to work, almost like at the same time, right? So that you can operate that bike the way you need to operate it. Well, this is no different. You're gonna do all these things simultaneously because the reality of it is you're gonna do these things in a way to where you can move all at once. Let me give you an example. A lot of people think you need a whole bunch of money to do this stuff. I'm here to tell you on this live, you can do this stuff exactly where you at. It don't matter how much money you make. It don't matter your education level. It doesn't matter if you're the smartest. It doesn't matter, no matter what the situation is. Where you at today, you 100% can do this. If you think, if you research and take action, you can make all these things happen, right? So let me give you an example. If I had to start all over again, fresh, no kids, uh, just graduated high school, then go to college, found me a job, making a little average little salary. Um, all this stuff can be accomplished. We've talked about how you can do this from making 100 grand a year. How you can do it if you made 60,000 a year. How you can do it if you made 30,000 a year, 18,000 a year, 8 grand a year, 1,500 a year, Section 8, homeless. It's not that you lack the capital to do these things. You lack the information and taking action with the information that you get. So, with that being said, if you get the information and you take action with the information, it don't matter how much money you make, because everybody on here know how to make money. Think about that. Think about that for a second. So watch this. If, let's say, let's use some real things, right? Let's say I'm a single man, 30 years old. I'm bringing home somewhere around about $60,000 a year. I got a son that I'm an active father in his life. I'm doing what I need to do there. I got some credit card debts. Credit's not really the best. I got bills just like the average person, but I get up and I pay my bills for the most part. But I do got some bad credit because sometimes I don't pay on time. Sometimes I pay, a lot of times I pay late. I got some over limit fees on some of my cards. They done shut down some accounts. I got a couple of charges. Like, if all these things were true, I'm still in a perfect position. Again, the key to getting out of a hole is to stop digging. Okay. So if I had to start all over, I could realistically take that little scenario I just gave y'all, and within 5 years, I can put myself in a position where I'll never have to work for nobody else for the rest of my life. In 5 years, I'll put myself in a position to where my kids will never have to work for nobody else for the rest of their life. In that scenario I just gave. And could I do it faster than that? Probably I could. I would have to get more creative, but in 5 years I can make that happen. And wouldn't even blink. And that's scary. And it's all based around knowing what I know. So I know out the gate, if I was in that situation, look, I'm gonna ramp up as much as I can, and I'm gonna downsize as much as I need to downsize. So let me give you an example. If I bring home $60,000 a year, bad credit. I'm gonna say I got a 313 credit score. I got my son. I ain't on no child support. Me and his mom just decided to go our separate ways, and it is what it is. But we do these things together, right? That 313 credit score is crazy. But what would I be doing? The same thing I would do in any other situation. The first thing I would do out the gate is I'm gonna go talk to my baby mama. We left on good terms. We had our ups and downs, went our separate ways. We do a decent job co-parenting. I'm gonna talk to her about us being back together and coming back to the house so we can raise our son together. And let her know that I've learned a lot. I got a plan. I've made a lot of mistakes, sure, but I have figured out a way to put our family in a position to where our bloodline will be set up to be trust fund babies as long as people are on this planet. Think about what I just said. And that's a scary way to think about this stuff, y'all. What's the next thing I would do? I would sit back after having that conversation with her and hoping that she considered the offer that I made. I will let her know she's not coming back in as my baby mama or my girlfriend. She'll be coming back in as my wife. And I know, the men of this generation, that red pill population, man, you have no benefit in marrying her if you're gonna be getting money like that, family. By the time you get 40, man, you're gonna be in your prime, man. You ain't gonna want to deal with that. Well, I know when you know better, you do better. And I done seen a little something, something. So I might not have all the answers, but I know if I got me a old lady that's with me and we married, I know that if she ain't got to worry about struggling from a bills perspective, there's stability and there's no infidelity, the chances of her wanting to leave that type situation is almost slim to none. I'm just telling you, we had a kid together, so that part of the relationship is still good because, we had a baby together. And fellas, let me tell you a secret that I found out. Any woman that have a kid with you, she want to be with you, family. She might be mad and hate your guts for a little while, but deep down, she want to be with you because you might not have been a good man, but if you would have been a good man, she would have just stayed with you because she wouldn't have had a kid with your family. Trust me. I learned that one. I had to figure that one out. I was kind of scared. So I will hope she will come back. And she gonna know that I'm real because she understand when I'm just talking just to talk. And she understand that when I'm saying some stuff and I mean it, she understand what I'm saying. Trust me. And she gonna know I ain't gotta worry about no bills. I ain't gonna be struggling. And he gonna be faithful to me. I'm going back in this crib. Women always say they ain't good at math, but she gonna know 1 + 1 gonna equal 2. She gonna know it 100%. It just is what it is, right? So let's say she come back up in the house. We ain't count her money. My plan's still in play, and I meant what I said. I'm gonna be an active father, right? I'm gonna do all these different things that I need to do to make these different things happen. Say pay 50-50 on bills. We don't go 50-50 on bills. We go hard on everything. Not necessarily her money is her money. Not at all. Mm-mm. See, that's the plan that the world puts you in, the 50-50 thing. Her money is her money. That's the portion that's put into play that people miss some very vital pieces. If the trust don't owns, if they don't own the business, how do you fund the trust? Um, you can have where, and B West is kind of hard for me to say, but you remember that nonprofit organization that we talked about on the network? You can have that nonprofit organization own the actual business itself, and the actual funding of the business can come through um, either loans from that nonprofit organization. Um, they can come from the life insurance policy, loans taken from that, because the trust can own that too. And they also can own the business too. It just depends on how you set it up. We're gonna go live in the network tomorrow as well at 6:30 p.m. I'm just gonna go ahead and claim it right now. I'm gonna make time to make it happen, and we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. But what I'm gonna do is, after I had this conversation with her, I'm gonna start putting these things into action, y'all. I'm making this 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow on the network, Zabo103 TV. Absolutely. But we, how can I put this? Me bringing home 60,000 a year, 313 credit score. I done convinced my baby mama to move back in. I'm gonna make her my wife. I appreciate you too, family. I'm gonna make her my wife. We're gonna be proactive in raising our kids, and I'm gonna execute this plan. I'm gonna sit her down and I'm gonna explain the plan to her so she understands it, and she just knows she don't really have to stress, right? I'm gonna make her responsible for her money to do whatever she want to do with her money. It might be whatever she want to do. I'm gonna make it so it's like, okay, you know what? Our son, you want to keep him fresh because you like to shop. Keep him fresh, okay? If you want to go buy me some every now and then to keep me fresh too, you can do that too. I would love for your money to go into this, but since it can't, I'm gonna show you a different way. Let's say she bring home 50 grand a year. She want to bring home 50 grand a year, right? Here's what I'm gonna do to her. I'm gonna say we're gonna do the same thing. First thing first, your credit straight, my credit jacked. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reach out to a company called LexisNexis. 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 Somebody put it in the chat. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all of it. I'm going to reach out to LexisNexis, and the first thing that I'm going to do when I actually reach out to LexisNexis, I'm going to tell them to freeze my Clue report and my personal file. Clue, CLUE, personal file. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I'm going to tell them I can't afford it. No, thank you. Freeze my Clue report and my personal file. They're going to tell me they're going to send me out a PIN number in 3 days. I'll be able to unfreeze and freeze my Clue report in my personal file at any time. I'm going to say thank you very much. Mhm. While I'm waiting those 3 days on my PIN number, I'm going to get down there to the city. And while I'm down at the city, I'm going to ask them about where do I need to go to take my test to become a licensed builder. They're going to let me know that I can take the test. It's going to cost me $200 to take the test to become a licensed builder, but I'm going to have to work up on a licensed builder for 2 years in order to become a licensed builder. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to make that happen because it is the right thing to do. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get back in 3 days that PIN number. And when I get that PIN number, I'm going to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. I'm going to start disputing. That's not my address. That's not my account. Validate this debt. Everybody on this live know that when you dispute something with the credit bureaus, they got 30 days to verify that information. 30. What a lot of people don't know is they're going to reach out to LexisNexis to verify that information. What even less people know, being that you froze your clue report in your personal file, nothing's coming back. We all know what happens when nothing comes back, right? It's coming off your credit and it's free. Uh-oh. Check that box. This is going to get crazy. What's going to happen after that? Now I'm going to sit back now, me and the wife, me and my baby mama, we going to go and we going to go on down there to the courthouse. We ain't having no big old wedding. I got a plan. Trust me, we're going to pay the price today so we can pay any price later. So we can go on down to the courthouse on Monday, go on and get married. We ain't signing no prenup. We ain't doing none of that. I don't need it. We were broke. I was broke. I was in between blessings when me and her got married. So anything that we building together. It is what it is, y'all. Just so we on the same page. Okay? Once we get married, I'm going to sit down with her and I'm going to say, the plan is still the same. You bring home 50 grand a year, I bring home 60 grand a year. Here's what I want both of us to do. We're going to go sit down with a mutual paying dividend life insurance company, broker, agent, and we're going to structure a whole life insurance policy that has a living benefit and a death benefit. Well, we can take our whole paycheck and run it through our life insurance policy and borrow from it every 30 days and pay it back every 30 days. On that living benefit of that life insurance policy, as we know, right? I'm putting money in there every pay period. She put money in there every pay period. It's getting compound interest daily, tax free, that we can borrow against and pay ourselves back with interest. So what does that mean? Her 50 grand that she put inside that policy, my 60 grand that I'm putting inside that policy, we'll be able to borrow that money every 30 days and pay ourselves back with interest. And even when we borrow that money out, that money's still in the policy getting compound interest daily, tax free. This is gonna get scary. So why would my new wife have to do that? Because she want to shop. And she need to build this nest that we trying to build. So with her 50 grand that she putting in, she gonna be able to borrow 40 grand back out every single year to shop till she drop. And it's gonna get paid back every pay period, and she's still gonna be getting compound interest daily, tax free. She'll thank me later. That's 60 grand that I'm putting in now. I'm gonna be able to borrow out $50,000 a year of it, and I'm gonna be getting compound interest daily, tax free while I borrow it out on the whole 60,000. Now for my wife, her money going towards shopping, but it's going to that policy first, and then she can shop till she drop with the money that she borrowed back. With that 50 grand that I borrowed back, remember my money only going to three places: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. Watch this. Why am I buying land? Because they're not making no more. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. Let me check that box. Why am I getting that whole life insurance policy? Because your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the life insurance policy you can get. Let me check that box. Basic living expenses. It's just the basic things that I gotta have. You know, food, water, shelter, clothes on my back. Just the basic living expenses. So when I borrow that 50 grand out every single year, out of that 50 grand, I'm easily gonna take somewhere around, if I'm gonna be extreme, let me say I'll take $40,000 of that 50 grand, and that's gonna go into basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. It's gonna be more than enough for me to take care of what I need to take care of. With that $10,000 I got left over, I'm gonna go and get me 2 acres of land. I'm not buying land in a major city. I'm buying land 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. In every state in the United States of America, I don't care where you at, you can buy land on average for $5,000 or less an acre. Land is still relatively cheap outside of the major cities. And I'm gonna do this every year like clockwork. So what's gonna happen in this situation? I got one more stop to do. Now I'm gonna go find me a licensed builder that I can work for part-time for the next 4 years. And after 2 years of working with him or her, what's up, family? After 2 years of working with him and her, I'm gonna need him or her to vouch for me to become a licensed builder. I mean, after I get off work, I'm gonna swing by, see what they need me to do on the weekends. If you need me to do things, I'll do things on the weekend just so I can learn the craft. And I'm gonna do it for free as an intern. I don't need the money because I got a plan. For the next 5 years, I'm gonna work for that little guy because it seemed like the right thing to do. After those 5 years are up, what am I gonna do? What am I do at that point? At that point, it's gonna become something real unique. Because after 5 years of doing this process, here's where the magic's gonna happen. I've been putting 60 grand into that life insurance policy every single year. I've been buying 2 acres of land every single year. I done fixed my credit. I also became a licensed builder. My wife been shopping till she dropping, putting that 50 grand a year in her policy. In 5 years, my wife will have $300,000 that she can borrow from tax free. She will have $300,000 that she can borrow from if she wanted to, tax free in her life insurance policy. She will easily have 300 grand. If we're just being honest, right? In my life insurance policy over the next 5 years, I'll say probably $350,000 that I have in my policy that I can borrow against tax free and pay myself back with interest. I'm a licensed builder by now. And since I've been buying 2 acres every year, I will have 10 acres of land. This is gonna get scary. I hope y'all picking up these pieces of the puzzle. Watch this. Watch this. In year 5, out of those 10 acres that I would have, I would easily take me 1 acre of land. I will borrow that 350 grand for myself out of my own policy. My wife gonna do what she gonna do. She gonna start to wake up when she start to see what I do and how her life about to change. With that acre of land, I will go build me a duplex on that 1 acre with that 350,000. Call it 300. I'll leave that 50 grand to the side. Make my payments back to my life insurance policy. Once I build that duplex on that acre of land, if I spend 300 grand to build it, I got me a duplex easily worth 600 grand. As a person that built 29 homes out of his own pocket cash, I know whatever the value of the property is, it normally take half of the amount to build out a property. This is going to get scary. So what's going to happen at this point when I got this house worth 600 grand built, beautiful duplex? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to rent it out. Now, I'm just going to throw something out there. On a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, new construction apartment, 30 minutes outside of the major city where you live at today, how much is the rent? I know here in Georgia you spending $3 grand for that property, but if we want to lowball it, you can call it 2,500. I don't know what it is where y'all live at. Call it 25 where I'm at right now. Right? We'll lowball it 2,500. What 2,500 you live at? Okay, cool. About $3 grand where you live at? Okay, cool. So we're about the same ballpark. 2,500, 15 in some places, 2,500 easily. But I'm not becoming a landlord today. I'm becoming a landlord in 5 years at a basic 5% increase every single year from 2,500 a year, 2,500 a month. I don't know if I'm just being modest. That's what, $500. What's that? 25. That's 250. That's 125 a year. 125 times 5 is 500 plus 25 times 5. That's $625,000. So you're basically talking about $3 grand, 250 in 5 years. Probably gonna be more than that. I'm not charging nobody 3250. I'm gonna charge them $3,000. This 5 years later. Landlord. So what am I doing? I'm getting $3 grand on the left, and I'm getting $3 grand on $6,000 a month, boys and girls. Just so we all on the same page. That's $6 grand a month for that duplex. Rent out both of these sides. What you think I'm gonna do at this point? Now I'm gonna go to the bank and I'm gonna refinance this property. Property worth 600 grand. The bank gonna say, this property free and clear. You an investor. We gonna need you to put 20% down. 20% of $600,000 is $120,000. It's a good thing I got that in equity. That means the bank gonna give me a mortgage of $480,000. On that $480,000, who's getting that money? You. Tax free. That your tenant's about to pay back. Uh-oh. I put 300 grand in to build this property. I got 480 back. That means I got an extra $180,000 tax-free money that my tenant's paying back. The mortgage on that 480 grand, if I'm rounding up, let's say it's $4,000 a month. And I'm being extreme. The tenant paying me $6,000. $4,000 going to the mortgage. The other $2,000, it ain't taxed out the gate. Why? Because you have to get what's called a return on your capital first. You know, the $120,000 in equity that you put down, that $2,000 ain't taxed until you get that $120,000 back. That means I got $480,000 in this hand, $2,000 in this hand. Lost you on the 480. When you built this property, you used the loan from your life insurance policy. So the house is free and clear. So when the bank gives you a mortgage for the 480, which is an 80% loan of the $600,000, that's $480,000 of a loan that they're going to give you. The money that they're going to give you is going to come to you because you're the lien holder. So that means you're going to get your 300 grand back that you borrowed from your life insurance policy, plus an extra 180,000 on top of it to equal the $480,000. And being it's a loan, it's not taxed. You get it? So I got 480,000 in this hand, $2,000 of money in this hand. Y'all don't see how my life should change? My wife gonna be like, whoo, I got 300 in mine. You had 350. You turned that 350 into 480 plus the 50 you had left over. Man, that's $520,000. I mean, $530,000. Man, I need to do the same thing. Like, baby, we can do it. Because the only thing she see in her eyes is I can shop more if I do it that way. And if I got a scenario where I can go ahead and take my 300, do the same thing you did. Now, when I take my 300, do the same thing you did, I can just keep doing my money like that. And then I can just take that cash flow that I'm getting every single month and I can shop till I drop some more. She excited about it. I'm like, baby, don't worry about it. Keep your money to the side for a second. Just leave that there. We're going to help build that nest. Because by us helping build that nest for you, that's going to be whatever security blanket you want it to be. If you ever decide you're tired of me for whatever situation is, we're going to make sure that this right here, we ain't touching. I can't touch it. You can't touch it. You can touch it because it's yours. I can't touch it because it's yours. Can't sue you for it. Can't do none of that. Uh-oh. This is going to get scary. What do you think I'm going to do at this point? I got 9 more acres left. I'm only going to do this a total of 10 times. Wait, if I do this 10 times, if I put 300 in, I'm getting 480 back. That's an extra $180,000. Every time I do this, 180,000 times 10, if I carry that over, if I did the math correctly, that's $1.8 million tax free. Tell me what jobs y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Where y'all getting $1.8 million tax free? I'm all ears. And y'all just got that for free. And that was me making 60 grand a year, bring it home. 313 credits go. A son. Then beg my baby mama to become my wife. Started from the bottom, now we here. You say snags won't happen that smoothly? Well, I mean, if you tell yourself that, you're right. But I'm not telling y'all what I think. I just told y'all what I did. I ain't telling you what I think. I just told you what I did. So I mean, maybe for you it might be that way, but I'm just saying I don't know it. Y'all don't see me going to work in no jobs. I have 13 different businesses right now. You don't see me in those offices at all. I've been sitting here now for the last 3 hours in my movie theater talking to y'all. Think about what I'm saying. And there's more. And there's more. Wait, there's more than the $1.8 million? Yeah, there's more. Y'all remember that 2 grand over there too, right? That you not getting taxed on until you get that return on your capital first. You also getting that 10 times as well. 10 times 2,000, that's an extra $20,000 a month on top of the $1.8 million. Tell me again what job y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Tell me what business y'all got making this type of bread. I'm all ears. I'm listening. Got the 1.8 in this hand, tax free, and I'm getting 20 grand a month. Y'all don't see how my life just changed. Y'all don't see how my kids' life just changed. Y'all don't see how my wife's life just changed. And I could be tripping. If I ain't have all these different platforms up, I'll walk upstairs right now. I'm sure my wife upstairs cooking. She says she making some type of spaghetti squash. The squash made out of spaghetti bowl. I don't know. It'd be good. Some shrimp and then all the other stuff. I don't know what's going on. They can't even do that. $1.8 million tax free. And an extra 20 grand a month. And there's more. Yep, there's still more. We ain't done yet. If you structure it with a mutual dividend paying life insurance company, you can set it up to where you can borrow back from it every 30 days. You can really borrow back from it immediately, depending on how it's structured. But you just gotta sit down with one of those brokers. I think they got companies out there like New York Life, Mass Mutual, Omaha Mutual. They got Guardian Bank out there. Guardian Mutual Life Insurance Company. They got all type of life insurance companies out there. You got to sit with a broker. And there's more, y'all. A life insurance broker or agent. Yes, with the life insurance company. I don't know what you're asking, family. What I was just talking about is a whole life insurance policy. It's through a mutual paying dividend life insurance company, not a stock life insurance company. A stock life insurance company, for the most part, will push you probably into an IUL, which ain't nothing wrong with those either, but they're a little bit more expensive. Let me just say that. Thank you, Lux. Lux just threw some more up in there too. Shout out to Lux. Lux also is a life insurance. Lux do everything, man. Lux is an ultimate hustler. He do everything, but he legit, very knowledgeable too. Y'all almost made me forget. There's more. More than the 1.8, more than the 20 grand a month. There's more. This is scary, y'all. And the part that really becomes scary, there are so many people that are more skeptical about the things that I'm talking about right now than people saying invest your money in Bitcoin, invest your money in XRP, invest your money in these different things. And what I'm talking about, realistically, if I'm being honest, I'm talking about putting your money in a position while you have it until you give it to the next person to get you a guaranteed return on investment. That's what's wild about this stuff. I'm not telling you go ahead and gamble your money. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you're going to hope this going to happen. I'm saying put yourself in position to make these different things transpire. Well, if you put your money into real estate, the way the market is right now, it can be bad. Okay, well, go build some hangars. Take your land and go build you some hangars, you know, for these private plane owners. Just take your time to build a couple of them. Get you a nice little runway out there. Don't need to be that big. Get you a, good amount of land in one spot. Get you about 20 acres, 30, whatever. Build you some nice little runways. Build you some hangars. They're more expensive. Can't afford that right now? Okay, I get that too. Go out there and buy you some land that got timber on it. The timber company will pay you $4,000 an acre to come and cut your timber. Go get you 20, 30 acres of land out there in the sticks. and go ahead and start your company and get you some, gonna let it be hunting ground and let them do what they do. Man, I gotta live. I got about an acre of land, man. It's in the city, man. I can't do all that stuff with it. Man, have you went down to the city and seen how much they'll pay you to start a park on your land? A community park? They give you a few $100,000 a year, every year, for that community park. If we just being honest, the list goes on and on and on. It don't really matter. It's just up to you. The skies is the limit. Not if it's a flood zone. Florida's a flood zone. Louisiana's a flood zone. California's a flood zone. Hawaii is a flood zone. Jamaica is a flood zone. Turks and Caicos is a flood zone. You know how much money you make in a flood zone? Nobody don't hear this stuff. You can't make no money in those swamplands in Louisiana. You know how many people pay you? Just think, you go get you one of them airboats that seat like 11 people with the driver, right? So it seat 10 people. People will pay you $46 an hour to tour to see gators. You got 10 seats on there. Every hour you running those seats full. That's $460 an hour. 10 hours a day, that's $4,600 a day. If my math could serve me correctly, if you were doing 365 days a year, which would be impossible, I don't think you do that. But if you're doing it 5 days a week, every week, you're probably clearing somewhere around about 20 grand. Every month, you clearing another what, 80 grand. Every year, you're clearing somewhere about 720,000 a year. If you want to take that to 6 days, that number can get a little bit more crazy. You'll be over seven figures in a year with some airboats in a flood zone, swampland. Y'all make me keep getting out track. Let me keep going back to there's more on top of the 1.8, on top of the 20 grand a month. Y'all remember when the bank said, y'all some investors. Y'all gonna have to put 20% down. And you had to put that $120,000 down in equity. You also got that 10 times as well. If my math served me correctly, that's another $1.2 million in equity on top of the 20 grand a month. On top of the $1.8 million tax free. Tell me again what job y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all got making this type of money. And y'all just got it for free. What's going to happen at this point? When I got all this stuff going on, you think I'm going to be working in somebody's job with $1.8 million in this hand, tax free, and getting 20 grand a month, and having $1.2 million in equity between these 10 properties? You think my wife gonna be going to work calling somebody else daddy? Daddy, can I get PTO? Daddy, I need to call out sick. No, she's gonna be at home. And she's still gonna have her money over there, doing what it's doing, making bread. Cause by now she understands she ain't gotta borrow money from that policy no more. I give her a little bit of money that I got from that 20 grand every month to do what she gotta do. Now we got the trust going. We got the business going. We're gonna get the trust going. We got land. We gotta get some more. We gotta keep on doing what we do. So now her 300 grand is gaining money. And if it's kicking off 8% every single year, and I'm being extreme, right? If it's kicking off 8% on that, call it 5%. Let me just say five. It's kicking off 5% on that 300 grand that she got going in there, and she ain't taking no more loans on it. That 5% realistically kick off 15 grand a year. Uh-oh. So she didn't, it ain't so much clothes that'll fit in the closets. What do you think I'm gonna do at this point? We've been living in this apartment for the last 5 years. We didn't stay here through this process. We didn't work another 2 year, another year and a half after we done got out of that 5 year situation. We in year 7 together. We going strong with our marriage. We happy. In year 7, what you think I'm gonna do? I'm still a licensed builder. Babe, we're gonna go find us like 50 acres somewhere. I'm gonna take about 300 grand, not too far from the city, still 30 minutes or so, but still not out too far in the country. But we're gonna be away from a lot of people on them 50 acres. We're gonna be tucked away on those 50 acres. I'm gonna spend about 300 grand for that 50 acres, easy. Nice, beautiful property. That's gonna leave me about 1.5 mil. Mm-hmm. Out of that 1.5, I'm probably gonna take somewhere about 500,000 and go build us. It's just me, my wife, and my son. Build us a nice little estate. Work for meal. Easy. Easy money. Take that 500 grand, go build us a nice little estate. It's just us. Take a little extra money, put a pool back there. You know, get some ATVs out there. Might even spend me like another $20,000 and build me a little nice sized pond, maybe an acre or so. Put me some bass and some brim up in that joint. Me and my son go out there and go fish. You know, do what we do. Leave me with a cool meal. What I'm gonna do with that cool meal? I don't know. Might take me another meal and go take me another 200 grand. Go find me another 40 acres somewhere. So divide that up into, 40 acre lots, 1 acre lots, and do that same process all over again. Do that same process all over again. People don't hear that. You said this is what, huh? This is what you did. So if you did that, then why are you in the 7,000? Okay. Well, I don't know if you got here kind of late, but and I know people on social media just be talking, so that's cool. I get. I understand your sentiments. Now, you probably heard of Black Wall Street before, right? A lot of people heard. You heard of Black Wall Street before? Put a one in the chat. I'm doing this for you. If you heard of Black Wall Street before, put a one in the chat. Okay, a lot of people heard of Black Wall Street, so I ain't tripping. You heard of it too, right? Okay, cool. Black Wall Street was 40 acres. Just so we put it in perspective, okay? Now, as of today, we got about a little bit over 400 acres of land that we own. Ain't no loans. Just so we on the same page. And I know where you're going. You're thinking like, okay, well, I ain't never seen this stuff, so I don't know. You could just be saying anything. And that's true. I get it. Back in 2023, me and my wife bought 41 and a half acres of land cash live on TikTok. Now, I know you're not on TikTok, so it's going to be kind of difficult for you to see this. But for my TikTok family, if y'all were on that live and we went and bought them 41 and a half acres of land live in cash, live on TikTok, put a two in the chat. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging. And again, I know people just be talking, so I'm not offended. I'm just trying to explain to you. We different around here, family. Now, they say the average home, I thought it was 2,500 square foot, but the average home is somewhere around about 2,000 square foot. It's kind of, I thought it would be at least 500 square foot bigger than that. I could be tripping. But they say the average home is about 2,000 square foot. That's kind of scary. Them 41 and a half acres of land is 1.8 million square foot. We're going to build out a 18,000 square foot estate on that property. Now, I know that's crazy when I say that because I know people just be talking. And I think I got it over here somewhere because I keep it down here because I know people just be saying stuff. So I be want to show folks. Let's see. I got something over here. Let's see if it's over here. That's a whole bunch of paperwork. Did my son take it? Son probably took it in the other room knowing him. You will never find. Blum, 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 blum. Where you going? My son that took. My son be running around talking about that's my house. And talking about it's his. You will never find. I guess he took it. Well, can't show it to you. Thought I'd be able to show it to you, and I guess I can't. Can't show you the other stuff because my son took it. Let's see what we got right here. That's some of the little paperwork there. I don't know. That plot is telling me how the sun going on the 41 and a half acres of land. I know. Gibson Estate. Yeah, that's Gibson. Gibson Estate. It's the Gibson Estate. I'm just telling you, like, it is what it is. Let's see what this is. This is not the color version of it, but that 18,000 square foot property, that's, you can't really see it, but that's one floor. That's one floor. That's one floor. I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging. What floor is this? Second floor and the third floor? That's another floor. That one's in color. That's the second floor. I'm sorry. Second floor. Just so we all on the 41 and a half acres of land, family. 41. 41 and a half acres of land. I don't know what floor that is. Third floor. My son took the thing. And I should call him down here just to tell him. Because I can't show y'all if I do it. I'm trying to see what's on. If it's on. Oh, it is on there. My bad. It's right there. 1.8 million square foot. Y'all see that? 41 and a half acres of land. 1.8 million square foot. 41 and a half acres of land. Just so we all on the same page. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Think. Think about what I'm saying. Yeah, my son is already a trust fund baby. So y'all saw the Gibson Estate, and I believe that men do what they want and boys do what they can. Gibson toilet paper, 3-ply, Gibson toilet paper. Only thing I'm trying to get you to understand is, I know people get on social media and just be talking. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them at all. And that's the difference. You only know as far as you done been. When I was at Bank of America making a couple $100,000 a year, you would have never made me believe I could make a couple $100,000 a month until I made a couple $100,000 a month. And when I left the bank, making a couple $100,000 a month, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. Walking around here talking about, I make 6 figures a year. Shut up. Nobody want to hear that. I'm a big dog. That's how I felt. I remember me and my wife, we had a few years ago now. We were sitting at home, we were having, phone was going crazy. Bling, 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 bling. I'm like, what's happening, y'all? Started looking at the accounts. Had they made 6 figures in a day. You couldn't tell, like, these are things that a person like me could never fathom. I couldn't wrap my brain around seeing these different things. And yeah, it's bigger than land. Yeah, it's bigger than the life insurance policy. There's products, there's services, there's all type of stuff that we have. I'm just not on here selling it to y'all. This is my way of giving back for real, for real. If I'm being honest. And a part of me is just petty. Because that coach that I lost $90,000 to, he be on my live sometimes, still to this day. And I always say, he should have played the long game. He couldn't imagine this stuff was gonna come out of this. Now I just shine in front of him. Hey, it is what it is. You should have played the long game. Because we loyal people. I would have been so loyal to him if he would have did what he said he was gonna do. But it created something way bigger. Way bigger than what I could imagine. So I get on these lives a lot of times to really provoke thought. I realistically can get on these lives and be like, hey, look, I ain't giving y'all no information. Y'all, the proof is in the pudding. Go over there to the network and sign up. You'll get it over there. I could be doing that. I could be having a network at $99 a month, flat out. And it still would be 100% worth it, more than worth it, because people making millions off of that stuff. That's my way of giving back. Because I know that your time is more valuable than anything. The money is irrelevant. It's so irrelevant, it don't even make sense. When I can sit back every day and have a 7-day weekend every single week, not lose traction, not lose no sleep, not lose nothing. I can sit back realistically every single day and have a 7-day weekend every single week. In fact, last year in 2024, I worked 0 hours and generated 8 figures. In 2023, I worked 57 hours and generated 8 figures. This year, I'm putting in work. Why I'm putting in work? Because we got to touch that big and that status. Why? Because there's so much other stuff I want to do for the community that I'm building. See, a lot of people say, go give back to your community, and you don't own nothing there at all. I know you only need 50 acres to own your own city. It's a process, but I know you only need 50 acres of land to own your own city. And in fact, this dude out there in Nevada, he just blew my mind. He got 10 acres of land and he got his own country. That's a whole nother animal. And when I saw that the other day, I said, ooh, this is crazy to me. He got his own country inside of a place called the United States of America and it's only 10 acres. Man, I missed something. I got to go back to the drawing board. But nobody don't hear that because people so used to falling for the gimmicks. What kind of car you drive? You got on some jewelry? You got on some clothes? All of it's props, y'all. Wealthy people don't wear their wealth. Not in real life. This stuff is only to get your attention. Once I got your attention, it's a wrap. Because if I can get your attention long enough, you can start to see these things. And you will start to understand that you've been played. You've been played like crazy. And the world has just been playing on you and playing on you. And you just fall into it forever. It'd be so funny to me when people like, man, you be building properties, you be doing this different thing, man. Why are you not doing this stuff every single day? That's not real life. Every day you're not doing something every day. Don't let social media fool you. You have weeks, sometimes months when you ain't doing nothing. And that's okay too. But you still believe that you got to work hard for what you get. You need to follow the law. And if you can follow the law, you can become wealthy. That's what's scary. That's what's scary. It's about you following the laws that put you in position. When I said to myself, a little ignorant dude like me, barely got a high school diploma, at the projects, you done heard it. Everybody got the same story. When I saw a little ignorant dude like me could figure this stuff out, it was unreal. It was unreal to me. So what I'm sharing with y'all tonight, and I went a little bit further than I normally do, because we're about 3.5 hours in here. Yeah, that's why we got that. Look, that's the reason why I set up the network. Zabo103TV. The link is in the bio. Definitely tap in. Those law-abiding citizens over there love to have you. I think I think if you feel like you've learned some stuff today, that you didn't know. I think that's great. There's so much more that it doesn't even make sense. Um, the other thing that I would tell you is that before you get all excited and jump off the ceiling and do all this stuff, do your research. If it's legit, do your research. It is what it is. It just is what it is. I don't know another way to say it. Do your research. But here's what I will tell you. Once you realize this stuff is legit, apply it. Apply it in your life. Your future self will thank you 100 times over. I promise you that. And that's the part that becomes very, very scary to me. The other thing is, if you like, man, I've been looking for this information, like how you said right here. I've been looking for this information my whole life, man. Thank you so much. Why you ain't on the network? Why you haven't joined Zabo103 TV yet? You say, what if you can't afford an acre? You obviously buying as much land as you can afford. You know what I mean? But don't. So let me explain this way. When you say you can't afford an acre, what does that mean? When you say you can't afford an acre, you say you're in Africa. When you say you can't afford that acre land, what exactly does that mean? Because I would argue that you probably can. You don't really need the 5,000 for real, for real. And I wish I had more time to go in more depth right now. Tomorrow on the network, I will go in more depth on that because I think you have the same thought pattern that a lot of people have, which I think is cool. Um, but you gotta, you just gotta think through it. You really gotta think through it. And I would strongly suggest definitely joining the network because the reality of it is we're gonna go deep on that obviously tomorrow and the lives that we're gonna have. Um, Once you get around those like-minded people, you're gonna see that you're never gonna say you can't afford nothing ever again in life. You will never, ever, ever again say you can't afford something ever again in life. I promise you, in every problem, there's a profit. I can promise you that. You might be in the best, perfect situation in what you didn't ever imagine in your life. But the difference is a lot of people put the cart before the horse. You can't do that. You got to start exactly where you at. That's the key. First step, join the network. Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. Definitely, definitely, definitely tap in. The replay to this live will be at Zabo103TV.com for this particular replay. I'm also going to let it go up on Instagram at Zabo103, YouTube, Facebook, Zabo103, Zabian Gibson on Facebook. And again, definitely join the network, y'all, because we gonna go up. And a lot of these things that we talked about today, like I said, surface level for the most part. And it was a lot. I know because people tell me all the time, there was a lot of information. The app will be dropping soon. We got about 6 months before that app pop up. Before the app pop up. We got about 6 months out. I can't wait till the app pop up. That's gonna be crazy, y'all. Somebody on my team told me that today, Lux. They said the app should I mean the network should be $100 a month. I said, don't say it too loud because once the network add the app to the equation, there's gonna be so much more content on there. It's gonna be crazy. It's probably gonna go up to $100 a month. The people that's already there right now at the $12.99 a month, they're gonna be grandfathered in. Hell, Lux, you know, we got people over there that's grandfathered in at $9.99 a month. So the best thing for you to do is get in while we still technically got an early bird special, because yesterday's price ain't gonna be today's price. It's going up. So definitely, definitely, definitely tap in. I appreciate y'all always being here with me, because it is the right thing to do, because you're trying to do something different, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna get up off of here in the meantime, because I think my wife is about done with that. She's doing a seafood, spaghetti, squash bowl. Man, look, I'm probably gonna post it tonight. I know I'm gonna try to post food like that, but she do this. I ain't never seen it before in my life, y'all. It's this freaking squash. It's a whole squash that she cut in half, and then as you scraping it, the freaking squash peel off like freaking noodles. But it's not noodles, it's squash. Hey, it blow my mind. And she got like this seafood and vegetables in it. It's all healthy stuff, y'all. Y'all know my wife be on that healthy stuff, man. Spaghetti squash, yeah, it blew my mind. I ain't never had that before. She did. Man, she did that, family. I'm like, I'm gonna have to post it. I was just amazed. I mean, healthy and it's good. Boof. Your health is your wealth. If you'll say your health is your wealth for tying the shoes, you sure better say your health is your wealth when you get a good meal that's healthy for you. But y'all, I'm gonna get up off here, y'all. I had fun tonight. Um, Tomorrow we'll be live on the network at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be live at Zabo103TV.com tomorrow on the network. So definitely, 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 definitely tap in. Um, I will. I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to go live early on social. I may go live early on social media tomorrow too, just to kind of give it some time. But what's up, Riri? Shout out to you for tapping in, family. But I might pop on live tomorrow early during the day. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Yeah, I might pop on like early, early. I don't know. Depends what I got, what I'm doing in the morning, whatever time I wake up. I don't freaking know. Tomorrow I can see myself waking up at like noon or some crap. You know what I'm saying? So I might go live around 12:30 tomorrow. And then we'll go live tomorrow night on the network. So definitely, 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 if you ain't tapped in, Zabo103TV.com. And remember that um sure I answer that real quick. I'm about to get ready to get off, man. Jeez Louise, but I answer it. Appreciate your family. His question to me was, I don't really like these questions, but I'm gonna answer it because it's the right thing to do, because I think you deserve this. What if you don't have a wife? What if you don't have a woman yet and you decide to go on this journey to make all this money? At that point, it ain't gonna be worth having a wife at that point, or a woman. And I don't. I used to, when I would hear those type of questions from folks, I would normally say you must be young, but I'm realizing it'd be old cats saying the same stuff. So I don't want to misappropriate your age. I don't know what you are, but what I will say is that I guess my question is to you is that um, do you like women? You like women? If you like women, then um, I mean, what's the ulterior thing that you're gonna wind up doing if you make all this money and then you don't have nobody to share it with? You just gonna share it with a bunch of dudes? That seems weird to me if you like women. If you don't like women, then I get it. It makes sense. But if you like women, you're gonna share all your wealth and all this stuff with a man? I'm just curious. I don't know. I mean, I'm asking that. It ain't no disrespect. I just want to make sure that you understand what you're saying. The other part of that is that you're probably trying to build this thing called generational wealth, right? And if you're trying to build generational wealth, one of the words that's in generational wealth is generation, right? You got to have a generation to leave if you're building generational wealth. Because if you don't, you're just building wealth, right? Now, I don't know. The last time I checked, um, if you're going to procreate as a man, you need a woman, right? I mean, I'm confused. I mean, again, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm trying to understand your logic. See, you're making this about money, and what you don't understand is the money is not going to bring you anything that you're looking for. It's about the people that you're around that you say you care about and love the most. So if you don't have nobody to share it with, you're just going to run into a lot of problems. You're going to run into a lot of problems. Imagine you're traveling the world by yourself or with your homeboys. Eventually, your homeboys will be like, yo, bro, man, this been real. It's been fun, man, but I got to go hang out with old girl. What you gonna say when all your homeboys say, man, we can't go out today, man, because all your homeboys ain't gonna build a wealth like you. You're gonna be the only person that's wealthy, right? And you're gonna be treating them. So anytime you're ready to go somewhere, they're gonna be like, all right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And sometimes they're gonna be like, nah, I can't go because I gotta work. Nah, man, I'm chilling with old girl. What you gonna be doing by yourself? You gonna be chilling by yourself? That's gonna get boring, man. You ain't gonna want that soft to lay next to. I don't know about you, man. I lay to something soft, something soft every night, boy. I love it. I love it, man. I can't even. I maybe it's the world that I live in, family, but I love it, man. You can't tell me nothing about that. I'm just saying, men do what they want and boys do what they can, and I'm telling you, this nonsense that you talking about right now, I'm just telling you, family, like it ain't sounding right. It sounds like something else, and this is the reason why women always come out when men say things like that. Women come out and say, "You don't like women." They say that because that's how it sounds out loud. And I'm telling you this as a grown man. I'm telling you, like, I can't even make this up. Like, that's what it sounds like. Like, she gonna take everything from me. You ain't got nothing. You don't have anything. Even when you build wealth, you don't have money. Wealth is not money, it's time. So you got time to spend it with these people that you care about and love the most. It's not about money. If it was about money, then we would have a different conversation. If it was just truly about money, where you at in your life right now, you wouldn't even be able to enter into the conversation if it was about money. And that's just me being honest. Like if we was in a room full of people that had money and you didn't have money, you would not even be entertained. You probably wouldn't even get let in. Right now, we're talking about building time, building wealth, protecting and providing and giving provision to these people that you say you care about and love the most. If that's your homeboys, then I get it. Cool. Do you? I don't know how you build generational wealth with your homeboys. I don't know. Maybe it's something new. I mean, all the wealthy people that I know, they had a significant other. Sign if I can't. They had a spouse. I'm just talking about from the men perspective. They all had wives, man. I don't know. And maybe some of them had some. We didn't see it. At least I didn't see it when I did my research. When I did my research, these people had wives. They didn't have homeboys. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be tripping. I could be. So I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe again, it's the world that we in that's conditioned you to think that way. It's what you're talking about is consumership. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about consumership, family. Okay, think of it this way: you don't have a woman, you don't have a wife. Okay, cool. You go out and get this money. You're gonna travel the world and just get you a whole bunch of different women, right? How much is it gonna cost you to travel the world every year? You're not having a woman every day because you're not traveling the world every day. You're not doing it. Let's just be real. You're not traveling every day. You're not doing it. You're traveling what once every 6 months. You're not traveling every month because you ain't got no money like that, right? So you're not traveling much. Once every 6 months is extreme. You're probably traveling once a year. So the only time that you're gonna be able to get with a woman is once a year. That don't sound odd to you? Something ain't right. But let's say you're traveling twice a year. What the flight cost you these days? $500 round trip. Okay. So you spend $1,000 a year. Okay. How much it costs for you to get a room wherever you're going? You staying up for a week. Okay. Got you a week vacation from work. I get it. Let's say you spend another 1,000 a week. I'm being cheap, right? That's $2,000. You up to 3 grand. Okay. What else? You eat while you're there, right? Y'all eat food. Y'all whining and dining. You doing all that stuff, right? Or you renting a car when you get over there too? Let's just say another 1,000 between that. That's another 2,000. You at seven. You at $5,000 for the year so far. I mean, I'm just putting this in perspective. I'm trying to understand. You at $5,000 a year. Okay. What else? You giving her a little money every time you go over there. You ain't gotta give her a lot, right? You might give her $500. That's cool. That's another $1,000 bucks. That's $6,000 a year. What else? You buying a gifts too? You doing that? No. So right now, just basic math. I'm not a mathematician. None of that. Just basic math. You spending $500 a month on a woman. You done did all this extra stuff to go out twice a year to spend $6,000 a year, which is $500 a month on a woman. You could have stayed right on here in the good old United States of America. And if you want to do that every month and spend $500 a month on a woman, you can go out and spend that $500 a month courting whatever woman you want to court. It can be the same woman. I'm sure she will love you to death spending $500 a month on her every single month. It's not a ton of money, but it's a lot of money. You might just decide I'm gonna get her nails done once a month. I'll contribute that. I might pay a light bill every month. Throw a little grocery in the house, her crib and at my crib, and we'll cook up some stuff. But you got grocery in your crib anyway. You might just throw some grocery in her house. It's $500 a month for her, right? And you might not do this every month. Some months you might be like, I'm gonna go buy her an outfit. I'm gonna go buy her some shoes. I'm gonna get her hair done. It's $500 a month. You got it. You giving it to somebody else twice a year. So it means you're only getting lucky twice. The math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. But instead of worrying about that woman, that's $6,000 a year that can be going into your whole life insurance policy. You can be borrowing $5,000 back every year, paying it back, getting compound interest daily, tax free, and buying you an acre of land every single year with it. And when that woman see you on your purpose, on your role, working for your last name and not your first, and you realize I can easily spot a woman that's gonna be working for her last name and not her first. I just need to get her my last name. Guess what? You ain't even spending $500 a month on the woman. You buy land. You put money into a policy. You get it? I'm gonna get up off here. I'm just showing you love. I'm just showing you some tough love, family. I got love for you. I promise you. I got a lot of love for you. I got a lot of love for you. But I'm gonna get up off here, boys and girls. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna try to jump live over here. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens. But definitely tomorrow afternoon, I'll be live on the network at Zabo103TV.com. The link is in the bio. Until then, y'all be good. I have fun being bad, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.